What you want to do? Come on. The system that we live in is doomed. Oh, you know it's true. I know it's true. I'm telling you this. I'm trying to tell you, brothers and sisters. It's not fun singing y'all no more because I don't have my heart. We'll get it back soon. Bobby line control. I don't know the words, so I make them up. It's dying for ignorance. It's Bobby line control. Hollywood mind control. Good morning, everybody. I want to there's not really much you can like I'm sitting here thinking, it's news media control, political mind control. Don't be stupid, don't be ignorant. You're gonna kill grandma, destroy your immune system, casting your pearls before swine. All right, I'm done. All right, hang on, Mike. Stop, Mike. Stop. A lot of things happening. Good morning. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you and your mama and grandmama. Anybody still alive in which the ignorance of 2020 didn't kill nobody, kill everybody. Oh, Lord have mercy. I got hair in my coffee. That'll happen. It's just protein, though. It's okay. It's protein. That's what happens when you grow a beard. Get ready to go be a mountain man on the side of the woods somewhere. Oh, by the way, that's you know what this is? I learned. Oh, hang on, that's the wrong way. Is it this way? No, it's this way. Right. Y'all know what this is? You know what? Is anybody familiar with what this is? People act like I don't know how to take care of myself. I know how to take care of my damn self. I know exactly what this is. It's not a water hole. I know that. Do not cast your immune system before swine. Okay, that's the name of this video. Do not cast your pearls before swine. Do not drink that water. That water is not for you. No, you know what? This is why I need to start real quick. I need to start somewhere. Because you can't really tell people anymore. It's against the law now to tell them almost, I guess. I don't know. I saw a sister this morning and said, hey, girl, I'm doing good. I'm about to go get my mama. Because you can't say what it is. My mama mean. And I'm like, okay, yeah, and it's just, you get tired and you just like, all right, you're going to learn yourself. But, okay, well, which one you going to get? Well, I'm not sure. Well, they're not all created the same. Okay. I think it's the Madonna one. Okay, you think it's that one? All right, well, you might want to research, but, don't cast your pearls before swine. All right, as long as you know what swine is. Rockefeller medicine men. Anyway, so I want to start off on Rockefeller medicine. You just get tired. You can't tell nobody nothing. Soon, like all my friends and I, we're making up codes because pretty much every post we make is like self-empowerment. It's like, don't be stupid. Don't trust the pigs. That's what this is. This is a walla. It's not a watering hole. It's a hog walla. Right? This is where the hogs get in it's doo-doo and pee and pus and blood and boogers and snot and all kind of pig stuff and just roll around it and have fun, cool down in the hot sun. You don't get water from that. Don't invest in that. Invest in South Dakota. Invest absolutely. South Dakota, they did not wage a war on nature in 2020. And their economy is booming, as I hear. They're just rolling. And you look North Dakota, they waged a war on nature, and you look at their charts, and the curve look exactly the same. One didn't do a damn thing. The other waged war on nature. Better look it up. Check it out. But no, don't invest in central banking. Don't invest in the Rockefellers, which is where I want to go this morning to, the Rockefellers. Do not cash your pearls before swine. Once you know who the swindlers are. If they're swindling you, do not give them your money, your immune system, your time, your energy, your space, any of that stuff. It's a disgrace. Anyway, how are we doing in the prison world? I think we're doing great, Christine. I think we're doing great. I think we're doing wonderful. I think everything is exactly how it should be. Like, oh, but your posts are so dark. Your videos are so dark. Don't worry, they're deleting them. Is anybody else getting to delete messages? Man, I couldn't even use my phone yesterday. Instagram, that's post community violation. Post community violation. Facebook, post community violation. Look, hey, if you are not on my personal friends list, we not about to be friends no more. They about to delete the hell out of everybody. The great purge has begun. Dun, dun, dun. You're not allowed to say what's true on the internet. Okay, well, it's okay. We're going to go to the websites. No, you're not. Listen, understand how this works. These people own it all. I got a text message this morning that said, can you get to the highwire.com? And I said, yeah, I can. You can't? No, I'm searching for it. I can't find it. Yeah, I know, because you're searching, ain't you? Ain't you? Didn't I tell you a long time ago, use Koja, duck, duck, go, pig, pig, go, 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 go. And I'm not even sure that those are damn search engines. But you use something else. Don't use no damn Google. It's Google. It's just goo. It's just for-profit goo. And it's not profitable to keep the high wire in their search results. So eventually that will disappear. They can completely remove websites, but it's your own personal website. You have no idea how IT works. Please understand, all they got to do is pull his IP address out of DNS. All right. He's gone. You can't even get to his site. But first, they're going to pull it off of the search engines. The great purge has begun, people. But no, Christine, I think everything's perfect. Everything is going exactly the way it's supposed to go. Exactly. Looks like a heart-shaped pond. Yeah, it does. Well, to the pigs. Yeah, I agree with that. That is, Christine. It looked like a heart, because that's love to the pig, right? The pig is hot. Damn it. It's 110 degrees. And the pig got a whole lot of fat like Americans, because we eat in the grocery stores and they poisoning all the food, destroying our thyroids. It always gets back to subsidies no matter what you do. And so the pigs like to get all that fat in the water because it's cool. And so, yeah, that's love. That should be shaped like a heart, but don't go drinking in it. That's for pigs. That's for hogs. It's not for us. And Valentine's poison. Yes, it is Valentine's poison. Please, everybody, get your permission slips. Please check and make sure that you have permission from whoever your owners are, that you can go out with your wife or your husband on Valentine's Day. Because the elites, they need to make sure they got enough chaperones and contact tracing to make sure that you're safe. All right, I got to start off on the crony world, because some of y'all are casting your health before swine. And I think I started the show part of it a long time ago. We never finished it, but I get busy and I forget to do this, that, and the other. But yeah, they're deleting everything. They're deleting everything. I'm getting pop-ups, deleting posts from years ago. They're deleting history in front of us, right in front of us. The great purge has begun. Soon, like the future of this and everybody talking in code, that's the only way you're going to talk on their platforms is in code. You have to just talk like real obscure. Like, yeah, you know, if you don't eat the thing, you're going to get that thing on your thing. And the things are going to happen to you that you don't like. And then you're going to need them for some more things. And that's going to create some more problem things. And then you're going to end up in that place that you don't want to be. And that ain't Smurfy. That's the adult world right now. That's the world we're going towards. We have to talk in code in every way. Let me fix this. I need to be able to do my motions, go this way and that way. I want to finish up Rockefeller medicine. Please understand, this system was not developed for you. The system was developed for trauma and profit. All right. People dealing with traumas already from having a government that subsidized all the comorbidities that kill people every damn year at flu season and when it ain't even flu season. All right. Trauma. All right. And profit. All right. It's all crony. It is all crony. If it's not profitable, you can't have it. Like that thing in 1974 that I can't really talk about because it actually will help you. And that's what's being banned right now on the internet, is anybody saying any damn thing that helps you, that self-empowers you. You are not allowed to be empowered. You are a slave on a plantation. Slaves can't have no power. Knowledge is power, and they must take it from you. So they silence everybody who is telling you your own problems is your own damn fault. Go out and empower yourself. And so we talk in code. Damn it, they silence what's it name? The brother with the speech impediment. Man, they start coming for people with speech impediments and they're shutting down their speech. You done killed his daddy and they killed his uncle too. They done shut him off. Name Robert. I'm not gonna say his name because that's gonna get trapped in some sort of a algorithm for the purge. But they're deleting everything. They're deleting history. And this is just where we are. So Christine, we built this world. We let them build it crony. People are still clapping, cheering, and dancing for it. Everything is perfect, exactly how it should be. The only thing we need to think about is what we want tomorrow. So before I do Corbett, let me do the rest of these comments and we'll launch and get going. I'm gonna try to, initially before I get going, I'm gonna try to just blah, 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 give people a chance to get here. and then we'll go from there. So I'm gonna play Corbin in just a second. Yes, took a long time before I was on the high wire, but I found it. Yeah, well, mine came right up. Christine, I go to ecosia.org because they plant trees, not because they're far from Google. They use Google. Most search engines all get their results from Google, but eventually the things that defy profit won't come up. And that's what Google should do. If you work for Google, I'm not mad at you. Google is a for-profit organization. They're the ones who make sense. That's why I say nothing's broke. Facebook ain't broke. The Nevada ain't broke. None of these are for-profit organizations, people. If you trust them for honesty and search results, you're stupid. All right, you trust them for help? No, these are for-profit organizations. They're there for profit. Oh, but I saw on the news. It's not news. It is a for-profit organization. It's going to tell you what makes profit. It's only going to show you what makes profit. Another example. Is it Nevada? Nevada was the one we were talking about yesterday. The one that they're allowing corporations to make their own little plantations. How's that not funny, y'all? We right back. We ain't getting nowhere. Nevada decided to let corporations make their own little plantations, have their own courts and their own laws, and we laugh at it. People, oh my God, this is horrible. No, it's what somebody did in 1871. They made 49 states a slave plantation. They made it their own little town. They made their own little laws. They made their own little Supreme Court. They made it look just like the Republic, and now they own everybody within it. Everybody's a commodity because everybody consents to it. And so Nevada allowing small corporations to create their own little towns, to create their own little slave plantations and make their own laws. Yeah, that's just normal. That's normal. Everything is exactly how it should be. We just keep taking pearls and just putting, you know what? I need to get me a pig. Hold on. I need to get me a pig. This ain't going to work without a pig. Let me see. How can I turn this? No, go this way. Dang it. This is weird. I'm going to have to move my chair. I need to, you know what? Maybe move the laptop. That might be easier. There you go, monkey. No, damn it. Hold on. This way. No, that way. This is weird. So something happened. Somebody messed with my thing last night. This is weird. He's in my face. Hold on. We're going to get this straight. I need to find me a pig on the internet. If I lean this way, y'all can't see me. If I go that gets, this is crazy. No, something is wrong. What happened? Someone y'all touch it. Somebody move my cheese. Y'all read the book, Who Moved My Cheese? Somebody move my damn cheese. I'm going to have to sit way over here? No, I need to be comfortable. I'm going to be right about here, but I'd like for the daggone. Oh, man, this is weird. What the hell is going on? All right, something is crazy. I don't know. Let me find a pig. I got to put a pig in the walla. The hog's walla. Let me find it. But I don't need a pig because pigs are cute. Pigs are like little dogs. I don't know why y'all still eat them. People get upset with me when I say that. They're just dogs. That's all they are. They're dogs with snouts, but different kind of snouts and hooves instead of paws. And yeah, it's okay to eat bacon. All right, and don't be upset. People in somewhere else eating dogs. It ain't much different. You just picking into your culture. Ooh, Rockefeller world. Eddie Bernays. We haven't talked about him in a long time. He was the one who taught you what's okay to eat and what isn't okay to eat. Hang on, let me find me a nice, nasty hog. I don't want a pig. I want a hog. Something just boogers and you know what? Here you go. Well, no, he going down in the wallet. I need dirty, just nasty, because we just take these pearls and we just keep putting these pearls on these pigs. Like, yeah, this is good. This is okay. No, it is not okay to live in crony world. Where is? Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, that's kind of ugly. You know what's hard for me to find an ugly. Well, here you go. This is dirty. I can see some doo-doo. I'm gonna do this one. Oh my Lord, get that. And that's Texas too. Look at that. All right. Shoot, wild hogs in Texas. Don't cast your pearls before swine. Do not do that. I try to take an old wisdom that your grandmama, my grandmama, your grandfather, my grandfather told me and told you. And I try to make something real with it based on today and the problems that we're dealing with. Do not cast your pearls in this. All right, that's nasty. That's doo-doo, it's boogers, it's snot, blood, pus, all the things that do not save grandma. I mean, they're organic, don't get me wrong, but you're supposed to get this stuff in mild amounts. No, we lost a pig. Oh my gosh, hang on, getting excited. Go back up. Go back up. There we go. There we go. There you go. You know, I move them up a little bit. Nah, you know, I'm not gonna mess with it. You get the point. You get the point. Don't drink water out of that. Don't take a bath in it. Don't put your investments in it. Don't put your immune system in it. Don't trust in it. It's not science. It's book. Oh, you know, I messed the screen up too. I did a whole bunch of stuff this morning. All right, let's get on over it. Let's get over. Let's get over it. I want him to set up the point.
Example of that goes towards explaining how the modern system of allopathic medicine, as opposed to homeopathic medicine, developed as a result of the Rockefellers and their influence.
The answer to this question may be found in some historic events that took place almost a century ago, when official medicine finally managed to gain the upper hand on the so-called empirical doctors, who cured patients with herbs and natural remedies.
In the 1800s, society sanctioned both approaches to healing. Patients had a choice of using either doctors, called allopaths, or natural healers, called empirics or homeopaths. The two groups waged a bitter philosophical debate. The allopathic doctors called their approach heroic medicine. They believed the physician must aggressively drive disease from the body. They based their practice on what they considered scientific theory. The allopaths used three main techniques. They bled the body to drain out the bad humors. They gave huge doses of toxic minerals like mercury and lead to displace the original disease. They also used surgery, but it was a brutal procedure before anesthesia and infection control. Few patients were willing to have surgery. Most patients feared allopathic methods altogether. Satirists of the day remarked that with allopathic treatment, the patient died of the cure. Competing with the doctors were the empiric healers. Contrary to the doctors, they believed in stimulating the body's own defenses to heal itself. Instead of poisonous minerals, they used vegetable products and non-toxic substances in small quantities.
Vegetables.
They especially favored herbs, learned from Native American and old European traditions.
Native Americans.
The empirics said they based their remedies not on theory, but on observation and experience. Satirists of the day added that with empiric treatment, the patient died of the disease, not the cure. And the balance of medical power remained equal until the turn of the century.
Ooh, okay, we'll stop there. So why would the balance of medical power remain equal? Because they had all that natural stuff. They had herbs. They were cheating. You gave the humans the things that helped the humans. The longest running clinical trial study in the world was done over thousands of years by Native Americans and Aborigines and Egyptians and people in China and India and the Germanic tribes and British tribes. They all said, you know what? John got the blue bumps. We're going to sprinkle this dust on the blue bumps and the blue bumps go away. That's a good thing. Every time the blue bumps come, we're going to give John this sprinkle right there. Herbs. When John eats healthy things, John lives. When John eats out the hog wallet, John dies. Very simple. It's called science. But the Rockefellers can't have that, right? You know, the pigs can't have. You got to have profit, baby. You got to create a system where it doesn't work. It creates more money. That creates more money. That creates more. You got to give them something that creates problems and side effects, things that you don't have to treat, but you keep just giving things to that mask more problems, that mask the side effects, then mask the side effects of the side effects, and mask the side effects of the side effects of the side effects. That is the hog wallah. Do not cash your pearls, your temple, your health, your strength, and grandmama before swine. So they remain equal. And the problem is it remaining equal. You can't make any money doing that. So this is where Rockefeller medicine began. This is where cronyism and capitalism decided for you what is healthy for you, which ends us where we are today.
Then new medical treatments emerged that were potentially very profitable. The AMA joined with strong financial forces to transform medicine into an industry. The fortunes of Carnegie, Morgan, and Rockefeller financed surgery, radiation, and synthetic drugs. They were to become the economic foundations of the new medical economy.
The takeover of the medical industry was accomplished by the takeover of the medical schools? Well, the people that we're talking about, Rockefeller and Carnegie in particular, came to the picture and said, we will put up money. They offered tremendous amounts of money to the schools that would agree to cooperate with them. The donors said to the schools, we're giving you all this money. Now, would it be too much to ask if we could put some of our people on your board of directors to see that our money is being spent wisely? Almost overnight, all of the major universities received large grants from these sources and also accepted 1, 2, or 3 of these people that I mentioned on their board of directors, and the schools literally were taken over by the financial interests that put up the money. Now, what happened as a result of that is that the schools did receive an infusion of money. They were able to build new buildings. They were able to add expensive equipment to their laboratories. They were able to hire top-notch teachers. But at the same time as doing that, they skewed the whole thing in the direction of pharmaceutical drugs. That was the efficiency in philanthropy. The doctors from that point forward in history would be taught pharmaceutical drugs. All of the great teaching institutions in America were captured by the pharmaceutical interests in this fashion. And it's amazing how little money it really took to do it.
Surgery became viable with anesthesia and infection control, and doctors advocated expensive, radical operations. These in turn produced the need for a large, lucrative hospital system. Radium fever swept medicine. The price of radium rose 1,000% almost overnight. Another costly technological industry entered the hospital system. A drug industry grew out of the booming patent medicine business. The doctors changed educational standards and licensing regulations to exclude the empirics. Soon, only AMA-approved doctors could legally practice medicine. In a brief 20 years, the AMA came to dominate medical practice. Organized Medicine launched a media campaign to associate the empirics with quacks. The code word for competition was quackery.
So now, the average doctor goes through school. He gets a great education. He has to be really smart to get through it. He learns all about drugs. He doesn't know too much about basic nutrition. I found that the average wife of these physicians knows more about nutrition than he does, but they sure know their drugs. And if you go to your typical doctor today, I don't care what it is, chances are you're going to walk out of there with a prescription. Why? Because that's what he has been trained to do.
Because that's what makes money. And that's why they went after the education institutions, right? Knowledge is power. And if you deny that knowledge, you become powerful. And you add that to a world where everybody wants money, everybody needs money to survive, then money ends up deciding. Right? Money decides, well, you know, maybe we don't really need to use the herbs like we used to. And the herbs might work better, but this works faster. And we'll kind of look past the side effects of what happens. And that's what got us here today. We begin to cast our pearls before swine, and we allow swindling to be the industry. And that's why we are here today. We look at the hog wallet and we think that that's water. We call it water. Why? Because most people do. It's on television, it's got commercials, people running, dancing, and singing. We ignore the side effects of these things. It's the voice at the end that tells you you're going to have a bloody anus and you might die and get cancer and your foot might fall off and your face might freeze up and be paralyzed, but it doesn't matter. Most people are doing it. Most doctors say it. Most of my friends who watch for-profit television believe that this is healthy, so this is what I'll do. And nature will take its course, people. Nature will take its course. As dark as that might seem, survival of the fittest never stops. And if you think the hog wallet is there's water in there, you're going to die. That's just, there's no other way to put it. And that's why I was hesitant with the lady this morning. It's just like, I've said all I have to say. I can't really say anymore. And you definitely can't say anything on these for-profit media platforms. You're just going to die. Like at a certain point in time, as morbid as that might seem, except that nobody dies. And that if people can't realize that you're not supposed to drink water out of this, and you smell it and something senses wrong, like that's why you vomit. Are you familiar with that? Why you vomit? It's because when you smell something, all the microbiology in your gut says, dummy, don't drink that. You're going to die. That's not natural. If you drink that pig feces infested water, you're going to die. And so it makes you vomit, just to let you know, if you drink that, I'm just going to make you throw it up because you're going to kill off all the gut bacteria that are driving you. We are more colonies than we are bodies. And all the gut bacteria, and they all communicate to us, and they give us these hints as to what we should and shouldn't do. And so after a while, if you don't have any gut bacteria, you don't have any cells or anything in your body that's trying to help you and drive you to doing natural things, every inclination you have is to go to Walgreens or CVS, get drugs and pump them in your body, drink soda pop, sugar, all the things, and you're going to die. And there's nothing I can do to say to help you. There's not anybody can do to help you. You're going to die. The doctor can't help you. The nurses can't help you. The industry can't help you. You have basically given up your instincts and waged a war on nature to a point where you are a synthetic creature that has no understanding of the ecosystem it's in, that's not evolving with the ecosystem, and eventually you will just fall over, and that's the end of it. Think fake news was bad? Fake science will get you. Fake health will kill you. Eat vegetables. What's the safest state to live in? Well, the state to invest in, I think, is South Dakota. South Dakota is not waging war on nature. They naturally did what they're supposed to do. And then the state you probably want to live in, the region, the land, wherever you are, is the place where people eat the most fruits and vegetables. Find yourself a blue zone. Find yourself a zone where people aren't cultivating the things that grow in the hog wallow, in their gut. Places where people actually have natural immunity that comes from being a human being and following your instincts and what your gut bacteria tell you to not die. Because people are walking around cultivating the most evil things that have ever existed on this planet to take out the human race. And why? Because Rockefeller medicine. Right? Rockefeller medicine. The idea that it's a good idea to keep people sick and sell them drugs and expensive procedures to a point where their body can't even maintain itself in its own ecosystem.
And see from all of this, I think, the bare threads of this argument and how the Rockefeller Foundation really was influential in shaping the modern American medical system and what it has become, where the Obamacare actually forces people to buy into the private health insurance industry, which of course only further inflates the rates of healthcare and makes it even less accessible for people who are struggling to make ends meet as it is, while the very richest of the very top, the not 1%, but the 0.0001%, the Rockefellers and others at the very, very top who own the banks that print the money, continue to expand and expand and expand their wealth, even as the lowest people, the people on the lowest rung, economic rung of American society continue to fall ever downwards. Again, this is a ridiculous system that could not have developed in any other way but through the careful machinations of an institution like the Rockefeller Foundation and the people who were steering it at the time, not necessarily the Rockefeller family, so much as people like Frederick Gates, who is an interesting character who we will have more to say about in future episodes of this podcast. But people like that very much helped to shape this idea of philanthropy as a tool for social control. And this is a point that is so fundamental, it needs to be made again and again, and to point out that when free lunches occur, they are never really free. And this is something we all understand intuitively, and yet that thinking goes out the window for many people when they see a free government program. Oh, the government's going to provide free healthcare. Well, not really free, but it's basically like they're providing healthcare to the people because they care so much. Think again. And well, let's start fleshing this out, and let's start.
Before he goes in, I appreciate the fact that you said there is no free lunch, right? Nothing is ever free. you will never beat nature. You're never going to get around what you're supposed to do. You either do the things that your body evolved to do in the ecosystem, or you eventually die. You're not going to cheat nature. There's no cheating it. You're not going to win. You'll lose. You might get a leg up for a moment, but there's no way laboratories and industries will ever keep up with an evolving ecosystem with hundreds of billions of different species and bacteria with evolving DNA that are all evolving together, and you decide to go a different way and evolve with the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds. There is no free lunch. You will pay for every lunch that
Taking a look at the motivations behind a family like the Rockefellers and why they would institute a system like what we have in this day and age. What is it that compels and motivates these people to do what they are doing?
Money,
the first
greed,
and
power.
basest and most easily understandable way that we can parse what is happening is, of course, to look at the profit motive, because make no mistake about it, there is a profit motive, a very obvious one for a family that made its fortune in the petrochemical industry, in oil specifically, to find other uses for their petrochemicals, including the manufacture of modern medicines, which
and there's more to it, you know. I mean, but he's hitting on the economics, and that's what I always fall back on as well, which is it's just economics. It's just money. It's not conspiracy. It's not anything grandiose and crazy. It's just money. We live on a planet where the Rothschilds designed everything, that everybody needs money and you die without it. So everybody wants that thing. And so whatever that thing is, it decides everything. All right. It could be corn. It could be sand. It could be rocks. It could be whatever it is. It could be a fake fiat currency that's really not even a currency. It's just notes. But whatever that thing is, that thing will always decide if that is the thing that we all want. So it's just money. Everything falls down on economics. And I'll lean always towards the economic. That actually makes some sense. That doesn't make sense, because this is what everybody wants. And everybody wants to rule the world. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. Like, oh, an example, how money destroys us. Someone posted it this morning. I shared it. It was the Britney Spears' father apparently was fighting with her over control of her investments. What kind of evil does it take to take a father to turn against his daughter? Have you ever seen an average father with his daughter? You know, we are just putty in their hands. They just take us and just move us and shape us and form us. And, Daddy, you gonna go here? Daddy, you gonna do this? Daddy, you gonna do right? And just men do. Your dad, you just go for it, right? The fact that he would turn against his daughter and fight her in court to control her investments, money and power destroy all ties, all relationships. People, I know you don't want to agree with it, but money is evil. It is a dark energy force that is to be reckoned with, and we are not evolved enough to reckon with it. It destroys everybody. Me, you, everyone. We have to be smart enough to understand that power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And what is a representation of power on our planet? Money. Whoever has the most power. The more you have, the more you can control someone else. And that is not anything that you can defy. Neither can I. You know, the reason I am the way that I am is because I was heading that direction and I decided to walk back the other way. I saw the people who had the money and I decided I don't want to be anything like them. I don't want my kids to be anything like their kids. I see what money does to people. It's evil. It is a dark energy. The love of money is not the root of all evil. Money is evil, in a sense that we are not evolved enough yet to accept the amount of power that it gives us over other people. Because even just, you know, again, give me all the money in the world. Give me all the power in the world, which is really the important thing. Money is power because of debt, right? If you don't have it, it means you die. If I own that money, you owe a debt to me and you owe a debt to the world, which means you will do whatever I want you to do. You will slave away as much as I need you to, or you will die, and your kids will die because you won't have a place to live, nor will you have food to eat. You give me all that money in the world, I'll think I'll be helping everybody. You know what? Everybody got to drink your smoothies. Y'all will be drinking smoothies till you throw up. Why? Because I think it's a good idea. I think it's good. And in my mind, I'm helping. Like, yeah, I got to help everybody because we got to get rid of these comorbidities so they don't die of the ecosystem evolving. Right. And and so I would use my ideas, which are very ignorant, because my ideas are only based on my observation and my experiences, which are very limited, like yours. This is why you should have no power over me and I should have no power over you. But we won't be in a flat earth until we get rid of that money. Right. I will be very dark. Just empower me to be dark. I think I'm light, like this light, hippie. Everybody wake up, meditate. The kids will be doing yoga in school. And eventually in 100 years, be like, remember when we had that time where that tyrant made all the children be enslaved to yoga and meditation and darken? It's abuse, people. It's abuse. That's my point, is money, economics. We live in a world where that decides everything. Case in point. Another case in point, Florida. Yeah. Can you feel the wall coming? Can you feel it? I can feel it. I can feel the wall statement coming. They're trying to build up a wall around Florida right now. Does that sound familiar to anybody? Jive and Boat, they're going to build a wall around Florida. Why? Because Florida isn't doing what the pharmaceutical industry wants. Florida isn't doing what the police state and the war state and the globalists tell them to. So they're going to build a wall around Florida. And that sounds familiar to me. I'm waiting for Jive and Bowden to say, I built the best walls, the bestest walls, the same way Hillary Clinton did, the same way Donald Trump did, the same way he will do. Why? Because there is no difference. Money decides. And Florida at this moment in time is defying the money. So they're going to erect a wall around Florida. They're talking about no travel out of Florida. You can't travel to Florida. Is your grandmama in Florida? Most people grandmama's in Florida. Your grandfather down there too. You won't be able to go see them. Why? Because you're going along to get along. You cast your pearls before swine, and those hogs think they own you now. They're going to build a wall around South Dakota. They're going to build a wall around any nation that's living natural with the ecosystem. Why? Because nature is the enemy. It has always been. Nature is the enemy of profit. You know why? Everything in nature is free. And as long as everything is free, the billionaires can't make any money. So you got to be sick. You got to be diseased. You have to be scared. Nothing changes. Nothing changes. Oh, we got to get them out. Get somebody else. Ain't nothing going to change. Money decides. Fear, buy. War on terrorists. War on this, that, immigration. War on black people. War on white supremacy. War on viruses. War on this. Get fear. And then buy what I'm selling. Because I'm in bed with the industries that are selling you the crap. All right. Never cash your pearls before swine. Let me do comments and then we'll go and see if we're going to do the rest of this. Don't cash your life before in a hog wallet. Never cash your life, your freedom, your oxygen, your immunity, your health, your nutrition. Never cash your pearls before swine. Because you can put all the pearls in the hog wallet. On the hogs you want, and they're still hogs. The welfare state. And we are a welfare state. And Christine, that's a good example of casting pearls before swine, because how do you even have a welfare state on a planet full of abundance? How do you have people who can't take care of themselves in a country that's got endless land that teaches them how to take care? Nature literally teaches you how to cultivate it so you can be strong. It's because of artificial scarcity. They take away resources and land from people to control them. That is what they've always done. That's what they're doing now. That's why they made races. And that's why they made racism popular again, because racism is a great industry and an amazing tool to make people stupid. And that is on either side of the aisle. Both sides are ignorant. It's just a tool of the billionaires to stay in power. No free lunch, direct to consumer marketing through farmer reps pushing drugs and taking doctors to dinner and trip. Yes, Buddha Cat, and they wear high heels too, and got them tight suits like you wear, where you got that tight. But I don't think that they're I don't think they're taser proof. But I work for 3 pharmaceutical companies. I tell you what, the sexiest people you ever see in your life. When you go to the sales department, they look like models. They look like models. Got the high heels. The men got that tight jaw and the hair is perfect. Why? Because there's women doctors out there too. They take them away and take them out for lunches, take them on the boats, the yachts and stuff. And it's just, I know a brother, he actually's on Facebook, so I'm careful what I say. He was dating one of them. Was like, yeah, you may not want to do that. Yeah, she goes away for the weekend with the doctors on the yacht. Yeah, I don't think that's the one, bro. I don't think that's the one. Oh yeah, but she's pretty. He said, yeah, I know she's pretty, but she goes away for with the doctors on the yacht for the weekend, and she comes. Okay, all right. I'm just saying, you might want to strap it up. All right. Know what you mean by that. My own brother stole thousands of dollars from our dead father's estate. Beezy, and thank you for that example. That is, I know I didn't watch that video yet. I'm gonna watch it. Money destroys all ties. How many times have we seen that, Beezy? When families break up and they all, love mama, everybody love mama, everybody love daddy, whatever, but he dies and they begin to argue and fight. Who gets this? Who gets that? Who owns this? Who owns? Money has to go away, people. And if you're new, understand this. And this is, again, my perspective is always IT. The minute we made 3D printers, money has no purpose on this planet. Money, it had a role. Don't get me wrong. Money had a role. It got us to where we are today. I think there were better ways to get to where we are today, but it is what it is. But the minute you had 3D printers, you can 3D print anything. So somebody explain to me, what is the purpose for money other than to keep everybody slaves and keep it from them? The only purpose for money now is debt. It's artificial scarcity. It's our shackles to the billionaires because they walk us around the planet like we're their puppies, all right? We're their cattle. If you can 3D print lungs, hearts, metals, cars, laptops, cell phones, anything that you think of that you want, drones, then what's your purpose for money? What is your purpose for slaving away for these plantations? You have no purpose for it because we're stupid. That's why we're stupid, and we don't think about things at a root level, right? We don't think about the principle of it. All right, let me see. Greed, FARC, side of, I think you meant dark side of humanity. It is, and we got it, Buddha, and it's not a bad thing. I mean, y'all get me wrong. I'm greedy too. Don't think I ain't greedy. Damn it, you ain't never seen me with Krispy Kreme donuts. Oh baby, no, man, I don't share them things. Somebody here is like, y'all, Gerard's lying. He shared some with me. I did share some with you, but that was only because I was in a good mood that day. No, I don't share them. No, greed is a mother, but it's a part of our evolution, right? Like, where did greed come from? Greed came from the fact that when we stopped as a agrarian society and we developed modern agriculture and we started staying on the land, we didn't have enough. We had more than walking around picking berries and seeds and putting them in our pockets and things, but we didn't have enough, right? But we had limits to our greed. And Buddha Cat, you probably heard me say this a few times, but we had stomachs back then. There was an extent to what you could eat, and after that, you shared with your neighbor, you shared with your kids, your wife, somebody else who needed some food. Why? Because they need to eat. Give them energy. They can help cultivate more with you. But we live in a time where after those stomachs, our greed grew to barns, right? We could store all we own in barns and king's coffers. But even still, there was a limit to how greedy we could be. Because the barn was only so big. An invading force would come in and steal the king's gold, his rice stores and flour. And then they made bank accounts. Endless greed. And now you have a planet full of 7 billion monkeys that are all trying to stuff the entire planet in a bank account. And the bank account will take it. We have an endless stomach now. So greed isn't a bad thing. It is a thing. It's an evolutionary thing, but leads me to the point of saying there's no such thing as a greedy person. We all have the propensity for greed out of fear of not having. And we're just not evolved out of that yet. We're not evolved. And so what do? Is you look at the root problem and you take away the root problem, the ability for us to be greedy. You take it out. People like, yes, socialism. No, baby. Slow down. All right. You don't solve greed by giving one king every damn thing. That's not solving greed. That's capitalism. Is just instead of everybody fighting over money, you got 20 people around the world who own the nations that are fighting over the money. That's no different. That is not helping anything. right? Greed must go away. Money must go away, which is why I think we are blessed that we are alive today in a time where we've created free energy, 3D printing, and the ability to feed everyone all across the planet, and for money to actually go away where everyone can live on their own land, live their own lives, and eat and not be in scarcity conflicts with one another. We literally got the ability through these technologies and abundance to solve rape, to solve mugging, to end all wars, to end all conflicts and domestic violence. All these things, the sociologists and the neuroscientists have been telling us, they all come from scarcity. And we literally live in a hog wallet, and we call it fresh water. So we put all our pearls in it. They literally starve our neighbors to keep them looking at us like we're food. They literally starve us in debt so that we look at our neighbors' little kids and like, nah, my little kid's gonna be better than your little kids. I'm gonna get my little kids to a better school, get them better educated. They're gonna steal more money. They're gonna push your kids deeper down in debt to fight up that Ponzi pyramid scheme to the top. That's why it's a blessing we live today. Just want to thank you for all your sharing truths for these years. Thank you, Lori. I appreciate it. I thank you for hanging in there, Lori. I don't know how the hell you hung in this long. I appreciate you hanging in. We get into our disagreements, but I love me some Lori Root Riley. I love everybody here. I appreciate all y'all hanging in. Y'all help me to understand how the world works. You know, I have to thank y'all. Before I started doing this, I knew that the world was sick, Lori. I didn't know why it was sick. I didn't know the root principles of its illness, right? I only knew what I was indoctrinated, how Corbett talks about the doctors, right? You know, you get people through the education system. I'm gonna shrink him down for a minute and see where the discussion goes. You know, if you can get to the education of people, if you can get to the indoctrination of people, then you can own them, right? Knowledge is power. And if you keep them ignorant, you got power over them. People had so much power over me till I met y'all. You know, when I met y'all and we started talking about like principle-based things and, you know, experienced people from all over the planet from different industries, and we start all comparing notes. Becoming informed is a drug, Lori. And I think this is why a lot of us still hang in here as they're deleting every damn thing off our profiles and go through the prisons, is because we want to know how the world works. I mean, there are some people who are very passionate and they really actually want to do the right things. And we've somehow created some sort of a group that there are a lot of critical thinkers here. And I love the fact that, you know, people here can disagree and blow it off, keep on going, you know, and this is why I want to thank y'all for y'all hanging in there. You know, the bits and pieces I learned from the fast food industry, the pharmaceutical industry, learning software, IT, you know, the chemical industry, lawn care, auto. I've jumped around. I've consulted with all of them. Those things only made sense till I actually met you guys and we started talking about the principal problems with the sickness in the system. The problem is no industry. We were talking about Rockefeller medicine, but the problem isn't the medical industry. The problem isn't the doctors. The problem is the system and what it dictates to the medical industry, what it dictates to the doctors and nurses, what it dictates to the fast food companies, and that they're all like us. They're all fighting to get to the top. And the only way you get to the top in a world where they limit how much is available is you got to push somebody else down. Our dark side. Yes, Buddha, we all got a dark side. We all got a dark side. And until we get rid of the system that requires we use our dark side to live, we're all going to remain in darkness. You know, I'm a good guy because I think I'm a good guy because I keep myself minimal. I manage myself. I live mostly as a minimalist. If I go back to being the bastard I used to be, I'll use my brain. I'll use my IT skills to make as much money as I can. I'll go back to being a bastard. I don't want to be a bastard no more. Right? I had kids and they didn't ask to be here. Other people had kids, they didn't ask to be here. My goal is, as an adult on this planet, it has to be to make this a better world than what this bullshizzle is. And it'll never become that way if I'm still worshiping at the altar of the Rothschilds and Rockefellers world. a world that requires I take a baby and I give them darkness as a tool in order to survive. But the most messed up part is a lot of people developed a Rockefeller mindset and they don't even know. It is, BZ. But what's beautiful, though, is we can see that now. We can see that now. I never saw it. Maybe some of y'all did. I never saw it. Now I see it. Like, I see these people. What's the name of that movie? You put them glasses on, you can see that everybody's like an alien. You can see their skulls and stuff. Is that the Invasion of the Body Snatchers? Or is that what's that John Gigatree, the Bigotry? What's the name of that movie? Damn it, there's a couple of them. There's an obscure one from the 80s where they made that machine and it went through the mountain. Oh gosh, it was fantastic. But the people were aliens is the point. Yeah, They Live was one of them. And you could see through it like, oh my God, you people are aliens, but we couldn't see that before. Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai. That's what it's called, which is a great movie. And it's a great documentary for today and probably what's going on. I think these are spiritual warfare, BZ. I think that these are spiritual creatures and they got clones. And I could never see them before. To me, it was normal, people wearing all this cologne and dressing up and buying these big, fast cars and the bigger houses in competition with everybody else. I couldn't see it. I couldn't see the indoctrination that the Rockefellers, the consumer bastards that they made everyone. We're just burning up the planet, destroying everything while we pretend we're good. We virtue signal on the weekends. And we work for the criminals Monday through Friday to make as much as we can, to buy more. We defy and we talk about how we hate slavery and everything that we own comes from slaves. We talk about how we hate Christopher Columbus and everything we buy comes from economic hitmanism, colonization, debt colonization, ism. We become the evil bastards that we pretend that we don't like. We're all them. They are us. There is no 1% and 99%. It's just us. It's all we have. If I were born a 1%er, BZ, you would hate me. I promise you that. I would be so good at it. You think the Rothschilds are good? Man, you have no idea. BZ, they used to say dumb stuff like, oh, Gerard, you should be president. You have no idea what I would do. You would hate me. You would revolt. It's probably good that you got sniffy. You put me in there. Hell no. Damn it. He's making me eat green kale and juices. I'm getting healthy, but it's my right. Eat donuts if I want to. No. Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolute. It's a beautiful time that we live in, BZ, because it's so obvious that we're all hypocrites. And it leaves us no out other than to change our own behavior. Yeah. I don't know if you're on Facebook, BZ, but they give me a hard time because I'm looking for land. If you start seeing people post talking about cactuses and my horns or something like that, it's because my friends are crazy. And but I'm out looking for land. I realize that I have to eject myself from the Rockefeller system. I'm not a person that comes out here and just talks bullshizzle. I come out here and I process information, which is why I don't do quick videos. I come out here to have a discussion. I come out here to hang out with my friends and family and evolve myself further from the Rothschilds and Rockefellers bullshizzle, to de-indoctrinate myself. Brother Chris Lewis calls it deprogram. I got to deprogram, and I can only deprogram if I am able to fellowship with others who are also deprogrammed. So my solution, BZ, which is not my solution, I think it's an age-old solution, is just we have to off-grid everything. There are people who run their mouths, people who talk, the people who got gods and demons, heroes and villains, politics, which is why I laugh at it all the time. It's always the same damn thing, right? Everything that we got to do is in our own mirror. Every problem that we got in the world is in our own mirror. And that's the only place that we need to fix it in. The best way and the only way to fight the Rockefeller world is to fight it in our own heart, to fight it in our own indoctrination. It's a great thing that we live today because now it's so obvious. I don't think it's ever been obvious in history. The question is whether or not we love the next generation more than we love ourselves, more than we love our McMansions. Do we really want to reduce climate change? If you do, then why do you drive the car that you do? Why do you live in the house that you do? You know, if you feel that it's fossil fuel based, you know, I personally don't feel it's fossil fuel based, Beezy. I think the climate's always changed. I think that we aren't making things any better, but the climate going to change no matter what anybody wants to do. They got that geoengineering stuff that's going on. But if we are really passionate in the things that we are, say we are, then we'll do that. We've come through some beautiful times. Hashtag save the children. Okay, well, do you realize that your government's the number one human trafficker? It's not a government, it's a corporation, but they're the number one human trafficker in the world. They're the number one who starts more wars around the world where all the sex slave and the humans who get trafficked come from. Oh, yeah. See, it's easy when you can just sit back and say, you go do something for me. It's something else when you're an adult. You pull your big panties up, your big drawers up. You know what? I get my collusion in the system. I get how I consent to this. I'm going to stop. And then stop. Those are the people I respect, Beezy. I have zero respect for people who just run their mouths and don't do anything. So we got off-grid everything. Off-grid from the financial system, off-grid from the power system, off-grid from the water system, off-grid from the political system, off-grid everything until you bring this world to its knees. And then you tell it what it's going to be. Right? And it has to be something based in human sovereignty. We are building Earth Part 2, 2.0. And 2.0 Earth is the humans have the sovereignty, not the corporations, not the billionaires, not the bankers. A flat Earth. Damn it, we're going back to the flat Earth. I need to see the Earth on the turtles' backs again, a flat Earth where nobody has any power over anyone else. You know, it only comes from having well-rounded philosophies, well-rounded thoughts, you know, complete real science where it doesn't hide the data and censor people because they say things that are true that are defying a prophet. That's why we started off with Rockefeller medicine. All right, divine masculine fathers, love and protect them. Yes, absolutely. If that's what we want to be, Lori. You know, a lot of people don't want that. They're just in it to get as much as they can after children. Oh, they'll post how they love them all day. I bought them some shoes and I did this and took them here and camping. Why? Because virtue signaling. That's what people see. They need us to believe that they're good people and they're decent, but they're greedy like all the rest of us. All that virtue signaling. They say in China now, they're saying there are tens of millions of people who've already been banned from certain cities because of social credit scoring. And that's the world that they're building here in America, which is going to be a lot worse than what China is, where you won't be able to buy an airline ticket. You won't be able to have a bank account or go in the city because you had a post. You had 8 posts that were removed from Instagram. You had 10 posts that Facebook didn't like. So because they didn't like that, you're not allowed to invest in this company. You can't work at this company. People actually think that this is a good idea because they're not thinking about it long term and what it actually means. We will be the perfect slaves in the perfect digital slave plantation. You know, in their line, and as bad as it will be for them at the end of their lives, it'll be worse for their children. You know, people like to say that, Lori. You know that they love to say, I do anything for my kids. Yeah, will you change your behavior? That's the question. Will you tell the truth? Yeah, that's kind of hard to do. Will you give up your job? You give up that big monster house and you explain to them that it's more sustainable for us to live in cob houses or tiny houses. Will you change your lifestyle and behavior, or you just keep talking that bullshit on the internet because it gets you lots of likes and it raises your social credit score? You know, makes you feel good when a lot of people like your posts. So I don't think I'm going back on Facebook. I think I'm done with it. I think I'm pretty much done with live streaming over there. I got 13 people here, but I think these are 13 solid people. I'd rather get down with 13 solid people all damn day than 3,000 idiots. Because 3,000 idiots can't teach me nothing. And 13 people, if 10 of these people are critical thinkers, I can actually learn something, right? If I'm there with 3,000 people who are just there because they're just on Facebook, got nothing else to do, then they're just going to hit like and the hearts and all of that stuff, which I like. And I'm going to bring it back on my own site as soon as I finish some coding. I've been busy changing my behavior. It's not about quantity. It's about quality. Quality, solid people. That's who you want around you. All right. It really is. If not for evil money, I believe my brother would be alive today. The pressure of humiliation that was done to him by the court and his ex preceding his death was off the hook. causation. Citizen debt, I'm sorry to hear that. And I would say that that kind of sounds like something that I've talked about before. You know, how I got started was with the family court system. You know, that was my first introduction to activism. I had no damn interest, citizen debt, in being no damn activist. Hell no. Hell no twice. I wanted to be a Rockefeller. I went to college, wanted to make a whole bunch of money and be as greedy as I could be. And then you go through the divorce. And well, I really wasn't feeling the ex-wife at the time, the kid's mama. I once loved her. You know, I still love her, you know, not romantically, but love her, right? And then she's the kid's mama, right? You know, at the end of the day, like, damn it, we ain't getting along. But if somebody come for you, they're gonna have to get through me. That's how I do. If I ever loved you, I always love you. You gotta come through me. But that usually is how my stance with most women and most children. I think that's just my place in the world. Call it my bigotry, my indoctrination. Like, no, you ain't coming in no house and doing nothing to no woman and no children until you do it to me first. So we got involved in the court system, citizen debt. And once I realized that the lawyers were playing us against each other, and they were doing it in a nefarious way to hurt our children, to get us to keep fighting each other because it makes them more money, makes the judge more money. We started to both realize that this is hurting our kids. Like, we may not like each other right now, damn it. Shoot, hit you with a pan or something. I didn't get hit with no hot grits or nothing, but I am more for people who I love than people who I don't, who are just making money off of it. How I got involved with activism is citizen debt. Once I realized, like, damn it, you mean to tell me they aren't doing what's in the best interest of children? They're doing what's in the best interest of Rockefellers and court systems and legally. And don't even get me started on Jive and Bowden, because you know that's where he came from. You know, he's been getting down with the laws. He came out the legal system, making money on people's death. So once I realized, citizen debt, that they were stealing children. It was a human trafficking giddy up. Started reading the law. Welfare Reform Act of 1994. Clinton wrote that law. Or he didn't write it, and he probably didn't even read it. He just passed it. Why? Because the money told him to, and he wanted a job. He wanted to be reelected, and he passed it. And it created the largest human trafficking organization the world has ever seen. Billions of dollars went into play for the location of a child, whether that be with the foster care or with the family court system and divorce. And it was all consent though, right? So, you know, and once again, back to the whole point, the world is not broken. We're just stupid because we consented to it. And so they would take us and use our emotions and our issues with other people and our immaturity to make a lot of money in the legal system. And once I realized that there were parents, citizen debt, that would go light themselves on fire, burn up their house because they couldn't raise their children, they couldn't see their children. Like, once I felt that pain in my heart, citizen debt, that, oh my God, you mean to tell me that I may not be able to see my boys for weeks at a time? What kind of evil, psychotic system that'll break people. It'll break people. And that's when I got involved with children's rights. And you know, in my particular, you know, family, which I don't call it a divided, a separated family. I got a family. That's what I got. There's no raising kids in separate houses. And we raising kids together. Her new husband is a brother of mine. I'd do anything for him if he needs me to, right? We all got to fight for each other more than anything else. But I feel sorry for the people who didn't make it, who couldn't make it through the system. I lucked up. And I even got a good judge that helped me luck up. And the good thing, he was a criminal. He was a judge in the criminal side, right? And I think he realized that, man, if well, you know, we got to stop getting parents fighting over these kids, because, you know, he was dealing with the juvenile side of where these kids come from, these divided houses where the parents can't grow the F up. But that's when I got involved, is when I realized that, wow, you can make a psychopath out of a mom and a dad by stealing their children. It takes a family, it takes a village to raise kids, you know. But if you let, once again, name of the video, Deb, I'm sorry I went off long on that, but casting your pearls before swine. People, this is a hog wallet, All right, this is for hogs. It's not for children. Courts are not for children. If you are going through some scenario where you and the father or the mother of your child can't figure out what the F to do about your children, you don't throw them in a court system. You don't ever do that. That's almost as bad as the Africans that help the other Africans get in the boat for slavery. Don't ever give your rights to who owns your child, where they go to a judge. You figure it out. Figure it out. Figure it out. Do not go through no damn legal system. You figure out how to deal with your own issues so you can deal with that person that you used to love enough that you let them put something in you or you put something in them. But don't ever make your child pay for your ignorance. They didn't ask to be here. All right, I'm done, Citizen Dev. I'm sorry, I got personal on that. There's some emotions there. I know there's some emotions there, but that's why I got involved. And I started speaking and I started meeting, I started reading laws. And once I realized this is just a hog wallet. This is a Rockefeller world in every way. All right. Should they even talking about you need a negative blank to fly domestically? No, they shouldn't, BZ. They shouldn't. It's not even constitutional, but it doesn't really matter because no one in Washington reads the Constitution. They don't have to. They're a corporation. In 1871, the Washington, D.C. Act of 1871, the Organic Act, turned the republic, our only government, into a corporation. So now everything they do is for profit. Everything they do, they can do anything they want to us. But even before that, it's still a government, right? When you give your energy over to another entity, that entity owns your energy. It can do anything it wants to you at any time. Again, casting your pearls before swine. Do not cast your energy before swindlers and swine. Or maybe they're trying to make us like them. We're already like them, BZ. We are just like them. We will be them if we were born in those families. Everybody is born neutral. Every baby is born neutral. There's no good babies and bad babies. There's just babies. And it's the environment that forges them. I could have just as easily been a Rothschild or Rockefeller, Sniffy Joe Jim Crow, or building a wall around Texas. I could have been Donald Trump, orange man bad. I could have been Barack Obama. I'd be all of them. The only reason I'm not is because I was born in a different environment. We can't judge anyone. We can't judge anyone. All we can do is change the environments. Exactly. Rope them in. That's what the system does. Buddha Cat ropes them in. Take people off the land, then they need you for everything. That's what they always do. That's what they always do. Is you take away our ability to take care of ourselves, then, these Bill Gates and Fauci's and Democrats and Republicans, they become our mommies and daddies, these Rockefellers and Rothschilds. Your body, your soul, keep them sovereign. They always are sovereign, Lori. I think we can take that sovereignty back anyway. Any day. I guess it probably might be the best way to say it, is that we're always sovereign. You're sovereign right now. Every slave is sovereign. Everybody in shackles is sovereign. They just choose whether or not to invoke that sovereignty, right? But your body, your mind, your soul is all sovereign. With their alligator briefcases full of samples. Yeah, that's what they do. They walk around, hand those samples out, get those doctors to sell those drugs because it's Rockefeller medicine. Everything is for profit. It's all about making money. Has nothing to do with health. True freedoms takes the chains away. It's a kind of revelation that universe always takes care of you if you can let go of materialism. Absolutely. Or never get materialism, Christine. There's some nations that never bought into this bullshit. But materialism and consumerism is burning up the world. It's not fossil fuels and cow farts. It's us, all us. We're sick and tired of the ism schism game. We are, Max. Most of us are, and we just have to release those isms and those schisms. And, and it makes a lot of people upset, but that's fine. Black people want me back in the black game. Nope, done. I'm not a slave. It's not going to happen. You can go on with that. Christians want me back in the Christian game. Nope, Max, you can have that. Get on with yourself. Americans want me back in the American game. You're a part of our country. And I'm like, what is a country? Somebody define country for what the hell is a country? What is a country? And is this my country? Is this your country, 'tis of thee? It's just funny to me. It's like flags. They replace the family crest for flags. And so now we fight and we die and we worship at the altar of powerful families. And they just change the family crest to a flag. No different. It's not my country. This is not my country. I'll fight for my neighbors, Max. I'll fight for my family. I'll fight for people local to me. I fight for people local to my region. You might want to call it a country or continent, right? You come here and you want to abuse people, same way as I'm not going to let you walk in a house and abuse some woman sitting in front of me or some child sitting in front of me. And that to me, it's not nationalism, it's localism, right? It's defying abusism. But by the same token, I'm not going to let somebody leave my house to come out and abuse you in your house. I'm going to stop them too, So it's not my country. I'm just a person that lives here, and we all have to, I think, we should think about applying those rules across the board. But it's the ism schisms, all the isms, all of them, the communism, the capitalism, the socialism, they're all given to us. They're all designed to control us. All the identities are just shackles that they attach to us like dog collars. We gotta stop being dogs, people. We're not dogs. We are gods and goddesses, spiritual. We don't even know what we are. Quantum physics is trying to figure out what the hell we are. We're frequency and vibration and wave energy. There's almost no atomic matter in us, and people still think they're racist because their skin looks a certain way. It's insanity. It's a perfect system for the billionaires that created it and the millionaires that hold it up, or the thousandaires in governments who want to become the millionaires that hold it up. And normal people is fighting with us to keep it the way, to stay enslaved and dopified up. Yes, well, they're clones, they're sheep, but BZ I used to be, so I don't judge people. I try to figure out a way to talk to people to get them to wake up. The more people to wake up, the further we go, right? We don't need a revolution. We don't need any violence. We need an education-lution. We need an informed-lution, right? We are at war. They're waging war on us. And we need to fight back in a strategy where we all can win. And that's just with information, changing our behavior, not supporting the systems that oppress us. Yes, knowledge is the drug, but these people will fight tooth and nail to not know what's going on. And it's maddening. It is busy, but then that's when spirituality comes in. You can't actually kill me. You can take this body out, but I'll come back. I'm a spiritual wave creature energy thing. You can't kill me. So they can do all they want. They can do all they want. Just let them do it. Let them do it to their blue in the face. You got to kill me, honey. Kill me twice. You didn't give me the first time. Give me the next time. I'm coming back as a little kid in India with a Vimana. Give me again. Come on back. Oh, you're going to get okay. Yeah.
We're going to kill you. We're going to hurt you. We're going to put you in prison. We're going to shoot you if you don't wear your face diaper. Okay.
All right, we'll do it twice. Good luck with that. Go on and get it. You got to do what you got to do. They got to live their reality, right? And there's some people who live the reality of darkness. They got to live out as a NOTSEE, someone who can't see, a Nazi. So you go ahead and let those people live out their reality. We're all in this simulation of a creation, and I'm just not going that way of darkness. I'm not going the way of abusing other people because I think I'm right. I will abuse myself until I figure out what's right, which is why I eat the Krispy Kremes, and I'm damn drinking coffee right now with international creamer in it. Only I have a right to abuse my body. Bill Gates ain't got no right to abuse my body, and Fauci ain't sticking nothing in my anus. I got a swab. He ain't sticking nothing in my anus, period. I don't care what's going around. People could be vomiting, falling out of airplanes, blood shooting out their eyes, turning to zombies, and we don't stick this in your butt. We're gonna, all right, well, you didn't. I'm gonna turn into a zombie or something. I'm gonna die. Give me the Black Plague twice. I ain't gonna let no grown man. Hell no. People are so crazy. I don't know why people do. It's that damn television. You keep watching that television. Fear, 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 fear. It's the mirror neurons, right? Y'all look up mirror neurons yet? It's the mirror neurons. If you watch it, they start mimicking what you're seeing. And you really believe that we are in the middle of a P, the P word that you can't say. We aren't in a P. I've never lived in a P in my life. I've never lived in a P. And not P in the hog wallet, but P that you cook, that starts with the thing that you fry the eggs in and ends in demic. Never lived in one in my life. Never had one. My grandkid would ask me, Grandpapa, how did you make it through the P? I was never in a P. I didn't see a P. I've been outside every day and ain't no P bother me. I eat vegetables. I'm a god. I eat human food. Therefore, my body is, and it does what it's supposed to. I don't eat Twinkies for breakfast. All right. Speaking of P, I got to pee. Let's hang on. Let's do a little bit more Corbett. And Beaufont is here, so There you go. Where is it? Where's Corbett at? Let him take us through the next portion of this.
Which do rely to a large extent on petrochemicals.
Not
All
right
of
there.
this comes together to create a system that benefits people like the Rockefellers financially.
The greatest achievement of the modern drug trust was the invention of the $1,000 pill. They have now they have one pill which costs $1,000, which you use in cancer and various things. And nature, unfortunately, has never learned how to make a $1,000 pill.
$1,000.
So obviously, nature is no good as far as the medical monopoly is concerned.
Well, tell us a little bit, just before we get into that also, there's a difference between homeopathic medicine and allopathic, and that's part of what we're discussing also. Tell us a little bit about that, if you would, Eustace Mullen.
Well, what you're talking about is a historic situation. In the 19th century, most Americans thrived on what is called homeopathic medicine, which is mostly naturopathic remedies available through nature in abundance at low cost. Well, the medical monopoly, which was formed in 1847 as the American Medical Association, they didn't like this. They thought, how are doctors going to get rich, and how are we going to control the people through the medical monopoly when they can go to these homeopathic people and get these remedies at very low cost? So the first plank of the AMA was, we will never allow any homeopathic physician to become a member of the AMA, and they never have. So, but the AMA was still in a minority. So around the turn of the century, John D. Rockefeller realized there were great potentialities of profit in the medical industry. And so he took over the medical profession. Now you say, how could anybody take over the medical profession? Well, first you have to have a lot of money, and second you have a lot of power. Well, he had both, and he did. So he revamped the entire medical system of treatment of the people of the United States, which had been homeopathic. He switched it over to allopathic medicine, which is a different type of practice originating in Germany. And the great attraction of allopathic medicine is it relies on radical surgery. I mean, if you can't cure it, cut it off. And the heavy use of drugs, because when you're having your limbs cut off, you need a lot of drugs because it's very disturbing. And lengthy hospital stays, none of which are features of homeopathic medicine. It's entirely the reverse. So by taking over the medical industry in 1910, through studies which he made through the Carnegie Foundation, John D. Rockefeller emerged as the kingpin of the medical monopoly in the United States. And he now presided over an allopathic system of medicine controlled through every legislature by accreditation of hospitals, control of physicians, control of medications, and which is essentially what we have today. So from 1910, when this change was effected, right to the present day, the cost of health care has multiplied astronomically in the United States to the point where it is no longer available to most American citizens. So how did they counteract this? When they got us to the point where the average working man could not afford hospital care or the allopathic system of treatment, they set up an insurance industry, medical insurance. And through this, they were able to spread out the costs among everybody. And health insurance today is simply another tax on the American people. In fact, it functions through the Social Security system as a tax on the recipients of Social Security. They say, well, now that you've reached your senior citizen stank, you have Social Security coming in. So then they jerk back a good portion of it as Medicare costs, which they raise every year.
So you know what I love about this? And no, I'm not peeing. All right, took care of that. I'm making essential oils. Why am I making essential oils in the distiller? Because I don't sit here and talk bullshizzle. I don't use your lotion. I don't use your soap. I make them myself, which means I have to be highly productive and I have to multitask. So what I love what he's talking about, so he's explaining to you that this is not a problem. This is not a problem. They say, oh, we need for-profit healthcare. We need universal healthcare. We need Medicare for all. No, you don't. You need to look at the root problem and resolve why everybody's sick and then you'll see what real sicknesses are there. We don't even know what the real sicknesses are. We don't even know what the real diseases are. All we know is people are dying in large amounts and no one can afford health care. Well, why? Because of this system was designed this way. I don't even think Rockefeller meant to do this. The man wasn't crazy. John D. Rockefeller was not crazy. John D. Rockefeller, he did this, well, one, because his father was abusive. His father, I think he had a separate family, double bill. And he came back to town here and there, and he was a young John D. Rockefeller. I used to call him Johnny D. Good. He was just looking out for his mama. He wanted to make a bunch of money, and he actually made a bunch of money with, I think it was investments at first. And then he moved into oil, and his mother was poor. Like his father would come back to town and not pay his debts. And so his brothers and sisters and mother, they couldn't even show their face in town. They couldn't go to the general store. So he just, and I think it was a minister, as the story goes, his pastor, the church or whatever, says, make as much money as you can and then give it away at some point. And this is what this boy did. I think he was a psychopath as a child. I think that, because remember, the warrior genes aren't bad things. They're just our ability to do amazing things most people can't do because we got that passion to do it. And so the gene flips and you don't feel pain. You don't feel compassion. You don't feel fear. Well, I think the fact that he had to step up and be his father because his father wasn't around. And isn't that a bit of a story that we can talk about today? He had to become a bit of a psychopath. And so he went from investments to oil. And then he realized that, well, if I buy all the oil barrels in town or whatever it was, I can, in a way, corner the market. And then that began his voyage into cronyism, right? Where he became the master of cronyism. And finally, his oil company, which I believe was Standard Oil, became the biggest oil company in the United States. Then he started buying the laws and buying the politicians. And eventually he amassed this massive amount of wealth. And finally, enough industry started coming for him. And when they started coming for him, he created the Rockefeller Foundation and just started giving all the money away to all these different industries. And that's what ended us where we are, right? So he didn't do it to be evil. And I don't think he knew that this system would go this long. It's like the creature from Jekyll Island. When they created central banking for the United States, they were surprised they got away with it. Yeah, people bought 1913, and that's why they did 1933, because we kept hanging out in the wallah. We kept casting our pearls before the swine. They didn't mean to do this. So I let it finish playing. It's us to fix the system. We can sit back and blame Rockefeller all we want. We're the ones who are keeping the system. But I was explaining what I was doing. I wasn't peeing. I refused to put your lotion on my skin because I'm not going to cast my pearls before swine. Look at the dew. Look at the shine and the sheen. I'm not putting that in nothing that you buy from CVS. Hell no, I make my own lotion. Learn better, do better.
So eventually, probably, Social Security and Medicare will be equal. So you'll get a check every month, which will be 000. They say, well, here's your Social Security check, but we've deducted your Medicare costs, and so now you get zero.
And it's funneled into the Rockefeller-style monopoly, whoever is involved in it.
All of the money from the health industry goes into the medical monopoly and the drug trust. Interestingly enough, the Rockefellers control every major drug company in the world. And now when I say control, I mean directly. They have, among the directors and officials of each of the 18 largest drug companies in the world, they have men from Chase Manhattan Bank, from the Exxon oil company, and so forth. So they're right there. The names, I have all the names in my book, Murder by Injection. And with this kind of control and the monopoly, they have been jacking up the health costs on the American people monthly, not yearly, but monthly.
I think all of this is easy enough to understand and easy enough to follow from A to B to C to see how Rockefeller family and John D. Rockefeller, with an almost incalculable fortune back at the turn of the century, was able to parlay that fortune into a tax-exempt foundation, let's not forget, that was able to invest its resources in philanthropic concerns, quote unquote, that even help to parlay that fortune even further so that Rockefeller's heirs are even more substantially wealthy. Although not if you read Forbes' wealthiest men in the world list, but do you really trust that list? But it suffice.
I love that Corbett mentioned that. I never watched this completely or really paid attention. But yeah, do you really think that the wealthiest people in the world let the poor people in the world they own, in the nations that they own, and the lands that they own, actually let the people know who they are? Just think about that just for a minute. The wealthiest people I know, they drive Honda Accords. Do they own Maseratis? Yeah. Do they own Ferraris? Yeah. But they drive Honda Accords. And why do they do that? Because the only way they stay on top is by you not knowing they're on top.
It to say, I think it is easy enough to understand how the Rockefeller Foundation has been used to further Rockefeller cartel interests. And we've seen that in previous editions of this podcast. For example, The Truth About the Gene Revolution, where we looked at how the Green Revolution and then the Gene Revolution, both Rockefeller funded and supported endeavors, have gone on to serve Rockefeller cartel interests in the monopolization of the food supply. Well, in the precise same way, we can document and look at how the monopolization of healthcare services in the United States has again furthered the Rockefeller cartel interests, this time in the Rockefeller drug empire and the pharmaceutical industry that is related to it. But I think we also have to understand that there is something deeper behind this, an agenda that goes beyond the mere profit motive, because it is something of a truism that once we get into the rarefied part of the economic stratosphere, that the Rockefellers and Rothschilds and the other 0.0001% of the elite reside in, where they not only have access to unlimited amounts of wealth, but access to the processes by which that wealth is created and or destroyed, i.e. the banks themselves that create the money out of thin air. I think we understand that profit isn't in and of itself a motivating driving factor for the David Rockefellers and others of the world. There has to be something more fundamental at base. And as I've made the point many, many times on this podcast and in the interviews that I do, I think that at the end of the day, this is not about money. This is about power. And money can be parlayed and used as a type of currency to buy and purchase power, but ultimately it is the power itself that is the important factor in this equation. And this power is being wielded for a specific purpose, the driving, motivating ideology of these cartel families, and one that has motivated them demonstrably for generations, which is to say eugenics and depopulation. In 1952, John D. III founded the Population Council, an organization dedicated to promoting the now debunked fear that overpopulation would ravage the earth and cause mass death by the year 2000. Rockefeller appointed Frederick Osborne, the leader of the American Eugenics Society, as its first president. In the 60s, the Rockefellers funded a WHO-administered task force on vaccines for fertility regulation that developed anti-fertility vaccines, a task force that eventually succeeded in developing an anti-HCG vaccine that caused spontaneous abortions in vaccinated women. In the 90s, WHO-administered tetanus vaccine programs in multiple countries were racked with scandal when it was discovered that vaccines were laced with HCG and causing spontaneous abortions in the third world populations who were being unknowingly injected with them. David Rockefeller continues to promulgate the same overpopulation fear-mongering, always framing the problem so as to posit the United Nations as the only solution, without noting that the UN was built on land donated by his family on the ashes of the League of Nations, an organization founded by Rockefellers and their family allies. Last year, David Rockefeller hosted a meeting of billionaires including Ted Turner, George Soros, Bill Gates, and others, at which they concluded that overpopulation was the world's most pressing problem.
The Rockefeller Foundation gives grants to Planned Parenthood, the Population Council, and others. You can see here in 1997, they did a study actually giving fertility control agents to people in India. Here is the research grant in action. And if you remember just a minute ago, I talked about the Population Council. These people are getting money from the Rockefeller Foundation. They said mass use of fertility control agent by government to regulate births at an acceptable level. This is actually here, once again, public information by the Population Council from 1969.
The overall Rockefeller goal? Well, they say in part, quote, science would eventually come to control the fundamental processes of biology. They literally want to control the entire cycle of life from birth to death, everything in between. They want to control hormones. They want to control glands. They want to control genes. They have no limit to what they attempt to accomplish, and all their funding towards genetic research and more has been part of this goal. It was part of their ultimate means of social control and social engineering, eugenics.
Ironically, however, the very innovations that are making possible dramatic improvements in human well-being are also creating new problems which raise the specter of an alarming and possibly catastrophic disaster to the biosphere we live in. And herein lies the dilemma that we all face. Let me illustrate. Improved public health has caused the world's infant mortality rate to decline by 60% over the last 40 years. In the same period, the world's average life expectancy has increased from 46 years in 1950s to 63 years today. This is a development which, as individuals, we can only applaud. However, the result of these positive measures is a world population that has risen during the same short period of time geometrically to almost 6 billion people and could easily exceed 8 billion by the year 2020. The negative impact of population growth on all of our planetary ecosystems is becoming appallingly evident.
There is a guiding, motivating, driving ideology behind these 0.0001% economic elites, the powers that shouldn't be. It is the desire to get rid of you and me and the people around us from the gene pool so that they and their progeny can survive into the future. Well, that is a pretty dark note on which to leave things, but unfortunately, this is the real underlying reality behind the modern American healthcare system and the problems that we see developing out of it. And it's not problems that are going to be fixed by some manna from heaven Affordable Care Act or anything that is launched or initiated or spearheaded by the bought and paid for executive branch or the bought and paid for legislature or upheld in the Supreme Court by the bought and paid for judicial branch of the U.S. government. Once again, the answer is not going to come from the U.S. government or its bought and paid for corporate cronies, because this is, of course, the system that has been engineered carefully over the course of generations and shaped by the Rockefeller Foundation and other very special interests who literally control the access to resources on the planet. This is a point that we've talked about in previous episodes. We will continue to elaborate in future episodes, and we will continue to talk about healthcare and the ways that modern Western medicine is not 100% evil. That would be cartoonish and too simplistic. It does certainly provide some benefits, but it is the poison pills that they're able to insert, sometimes literally poison pills, that they're able to insert into that mix, which is the insidious part of all of this. And I think there's a lot more to be said about eugenics and depopulation and how this figures into it. But as I say, we will leave that for further explorations in further episodes of today's of this podcast. But today I'm going to leave all of you out there with the dual task this week, not only of continuing this research for yourself, as always, and informing me of what you find through the contact form at corbettreport.com, but perhaps more importantly, spreading the information we've looked at today to others as the Obamacare fiasco makes this a talking point in American society, at any rate, at the moment. This is a prime opportunity to inform others about the real roots of the modern American healthcare system and how we arrived at this spot in the first place. It is not just happenstance. It's not just one of those things you shrug your shoulders and say, well, I wonder how America became the most expensive healthcare system in the world. It has been engineered that way carefully through methodical planning over the course of generations by people with almost unthinkable amounts of wealth and access to resources to make that happen. So I will once again leave you today with that humble task of attempting to spread this to others and inserting some truth into the conversations that are happening right now about Obamacare. And on that note, I am thanking you once again for joining me for this edition of the podcast and asking you to join me again next week for another edition.
I forgot his name.
The American healthcare system really does go back to the Rockefeller family.
As the legislatures under Rockefeller's leadership, he set up the American League of Municipalities, which controlled all the small towns in the United States, and the American Association of State Governments, which controlled all the state governments in the United States, including the legislatures. And he used the state legislatures to draft new methods for controlling doctors and hospitals. And so all hospitals and all doctors had to be licensed through state legislature, which sounded wonderful if you didn't know what was going on. That you had to go through John D. Rockefeller to get a medical license and a hospital license. Wow. That's what it amounted to. And that's the system we have today. And today we've become the sickest nation in the world and the most expensive medical care in the world, except you never get well, which seems to work out for everybody except the patients.
It works good for the doctors, doesn't it?
Good for the doctors. It's good for
companies.
Oh, yeah. So everybody's happy except the poor patients. And whenever you go to a doctor today and he prescribes a medicine for you, he says, you're going to have to take this medication for the rest of your life because it's against AMA principles to ever cure anybody. They've actually brought doctors up on charges of curing people. And they've drummed some of them out of the AMA for that very reason, because you're curing people. Because this might be the right thing to do, but from a business standpoint, it's better to keep them sick and keep them buying the medicine, which they buy from the Rockefeller drug companies, and go to the Rockefeller hospitals, and everybody's happy.
And now they have the scam where if you can't afford it, the government's going to buy the drugs from the Rockefellers and give it to you, right?
Well, that's why they had the Medicare system, because they developed Medicare. You know, I point out in my book, Murder by Injection, that for many years, the AMA spent millions of dollars in Congress to fight Medicare because it was called government medicine, and they didn't want, the doctors were very independent, and they didn't want the government to control their business. Well, they wound up as employees of the government, and that's what happened.
And now this new drug act, they're going to supply the drugs to the people that can't afford it with the taxpayers' money, but the drug companies will still get the money.
They get the money,
yeah,
because a lot of the people who are buying drugs today and medications, like elderly people like myself, they couldn't afford the drugs, and so the government will pay for them.
What a racket.
Well, it shows that these people are good businessmen.
Oh, very good. Yeah.
I mean,
they're not very ethical, though.
Well, you and I could never think of such a diabolical plan.
Well, that's right. You and I never could think of such a diabolical plan, but unfortunately that doesn't stop those who can, and we suffer from a lack of imagination on many of these subjects, which makes us perfect victims for those who would so abuse positions of power and influence in order to increase one's own profitability. Well, that, of course, was a brief snippet of an interview with Eustace Mullins. And, of course, I'll put the link into the full video interview so you can watch that on YouTube, along with, of course, all of the other things that I mentioned in today's episode in the show notes at corbettreport.com. But, well, this is a pretty grand claim to be making, that the Rockefellers were absolutely essential in shaping modern American medicine. And this could be cast aside as mere conspiracy theory by those who are not so familiar with the Rockefellers or their influence. And for example, I mean, just as one example of that, we could cast our minds back to The Last Word on Snake Oil, a video that I produced a couple of years ago, showing that the Rockefellers' roots, ironically enough, really does go back to medicine, aka fake medicine, aka snake oil, as the progenitor of the Rockefeller dynasty, John D. Rockefeller's father, was in fact not only a bigamist and a shuckster, but in fact also someone who literally sold snake oil, attempting to cure people's cancer. And billing himself as a doctor when he was in fact not a doctor. So the Rockefellers' roots and their first attempt at amassing a fortune really does go straight back to the idea of, attempting to cure people's cancer while doing nothing of the sort. That's just an ironic bit of history lesson, and I'll include the link into that video as well, so you can go and watch the last word on snake oil, which I think is still very relevant today. But again, there may be some who think, oh, Rockefeller, oh, you're just coming up with these crazy conspiracy theories. What do the Rockefellers have to do with medicine anyway?
How did working for a Nobel laureate at the Rockefeller University shape your science career?
So that was a pretty serendipitous event in my life. I knew I wanted to come back to New York City, and I was applying to postdoctoral positions in New York City. And a friend of mine at the time who was in New York City said to me, if you're going to go and do your postdoc there, you should go to the best possible place you can go. And that's the Rockefeller University. And for people who aren't familiar with it, the Rockefeller University is one of the most unique universities you'll ever come across. It doesn't have an undergraduate program. It has a graduate program and an MD, PhD program. It's small. It has no departments. It has no silos. It's unbelievably well funded. It's an amazing intellectual place. And I applied and got an interview in this guy, Paul Greengard's lab. I was interested in the stuff that he was doing. I went on my interview, gave a presentation, went out to dinner with him, and got the offer. And 5 months later, he won the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine. And I never could have known that that was going to happen when I accepted my position in the lab. And I always joked with him afterwards that it's good that I got in before he won the Nobel Prize, because after he got it, the applications to the lab were skyrocketing. And I always thought I would never get in. And he always said, yes, you would still get in. You would still get in. But that experience showed me the best of science. What's it like to be in one of the most world-renowned, successful laboratories? What's it like to be a scientist in a lab where funding isn't, the biggest issue, like it is in most labs?
Well, oh, yes. I mean, that Rockefeller family, yes. The Rockefeller Foundation, the Rockefeller University, yes. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, the Rockefeller name is associated with medicine, but not the family. I mean, they haven't had anything to do with it since the founding of the Rockefeller Foundation back in the early 20th century, right? Well, this is, of course, something that is not really controversial for anyone who's actually studied the literature on the subject, which continues to amass apace. In fact, earlier this year, there was a book released via the auspices of Guangxi Normal University Press, published by a Chinese scholar, entitled To Change China, the Rockefeller Foundation's Century-Long Journey in China, which notes that, again, the Rockefeller Foundation was absolutely essential in shaping modern Chinese medicine as well as the American medical system. And just reading from a short article on this on Global Times, it says, quote, "The concept of traditional Chinese medicine, TCM, that stood in opposition to Western medicine developed in the late 19th century. Before that, Chinese doctors were open and flexible in their acceptance of Western treatments and ideas, but as Western techniques and theories outstripped Chinese ones and cultural conflicts developed, the idea that traditional Chinese treatments were either outdated or needed to be defended developed, culminating in a division of Chinese medical practitioners into Western and Chinese medicine by the 1920s. In her book, To Change China, the Rockefeller Foundation's Century-Long Journey in China, just published in Chinese, Ma Chuxia, Associate Professor of East Asian Studies at Oberlin College, holds that NGOs, especially the Rockefeller Foundation, contributed to this process. The basis of Western modern philanthropy that had been established, and the West was moving toward modern ideals of evidence-based medicine when the Rockefeller Foundation, endowed by billionaire John D. Rockefeller, entered China in the early 20th century. With the spreading of the missionary movements, Rockefeller became increasingly interested in China. His foundation bought the Union Medical School and renamed it the Peking Union Medical College. The foundation not just wanted to establish a first-class school of medicine in China, it also introduced the U.S. Johns Hopkins medical model to the Peking Union Medical College Hospital and viewed it as a laboratory of their social ideas, which reflects the foundation's ambition to change China." End quote. I'll let you continue reading on that subject and reading the book if you are so inclined, but that's just one indication of the massive global reach that the Rockefeller family and the Rockefeller Foundation had, very much so in the early 20th century, and which continues to shape the societal and educational and medical and all sorts of other institutional practices and institutions themselves to this very day, as reflected by the previous clip that we just watched. But again, it's not a conspiracy, and it's very much documented history how the Rockefeller Foundation, in cooperation with some of the other corporate foundations that developed via the auspices of the robber barons of the 19th century, had a profound effect on shaping American medical discourse in the late 19th, early 20th century. And again, this has been documented many times, many ways, in many places by many people. So let's take a look at just one example of that goes towards explaining how the modern system of allopathic medicine, as opposed to homeopathic medicine, developed as a result of the Rockefellers and their influence.
And that is the end of it.
The answer to this.
Nope. The War of the Doctors. And that's the end of it right there. James Corbett, you guys should definitely follow him. He's amazing. I'm going to do some comments and I'm going to get the hell out of here. Whew, it's Friday. It's a whole lot to take in on Friday. So that was the whole point. Never cash your pearls before swine. And swindlers created the system. All right, let me go down through some comments. I love how he got to the fact where he kind of explained that, you know, it is literally a crime to cure you. It's literally a crime. Not all the time, not in every way, but there are doctors who've gone to prison and their technology has been taken from them. There have probably been doctors who've been killed for curing people. Don't get me on Dr. Sebi. All right. I'm just doing random comments. I'm going to go. Why would you go way down to the desert? Are you planning on creating the swales and greening the desert? Yes, in a way, Citizen Dale. I don't get too deep into it right now because I'm not really ready to go too deep into it. The bottom line is ecosystem is all over this planet. Right? And I'm always proving something to myself. And the thing that I know through Elaine Ingham and through some things that I've done, that we can thrive anywhere. Right? We just choose to be lazy. And so there are a few things there's a few places I'm looking at that I'm going to, but I'll talk about that in a much later video. The word hate, not even in my vocabulary, right? And I deleted my Facebook account in 2017, got tired of seeing brainless posts. And BZ, I'm not too far behind you. I don't know that I'll ever delete my account. I might let them delete it for me, but it's doing less and less in that space, less and less, only because we're feeding the beast and we got to stop feeding the beast. The only reason that I'm even still there or here is because I think there's still some people who are capable of hearing, and they're on the fence, and we got to save everybody we can before we turn out the lights and sweep the floor and let things go where they're going to go. You should play some of my children today. It's more meaningful. Yeah, both fun. Yeah, to a degree, it's all drama. I agree with you on that one. It's guiding light, you know, Young and the Restless. A lot of this is just drama, but there are a lot of people who aren't where some of where everyone else is. Right? There are people who are getting up to speed. So I try to do things to get people up to speed. The desert is beautiful and quite survivable. It is very survivable and very beautiful, Lori. I have to admit that I never gave it a chance. Now that I'm giving it a chance, oh, the desert is just, it's just sexy. Something sexy about a yucca tree in a sandy background. Oh, the desert is sexy. And I never really thought of the desert as lush. The desert is lush. You know, we're indoctrinated to see certain things certain ways as well. And so if you can teach people to live in desert environments on very old technology, it means there's more than enough land for everybody on the planet. And besides, the other reason, you know, I like deserts is in this country, it's the cheapest land you're going to get. And in a vision that I have that I'm working on, I want to try to feed as many people as I can and save as many people as I can. If you can give them a system that works in the desert, the tropics, and cold environments, then you can just hand somebody something free and say, here, just go do this. Buy your land. This is what you do. Here's 20 videos to show you how to get to that point. You can survive free the system off grid. And that's what we have to do. Lori, someone posted something a little while ago, and it was something to the effect of create something and give it away. Create it and give it away. And that's what we need to go back to be doing. We have to go back to being a gift-based society, right? Taking care of each other because they're just each other, right? Taking care of each other because we love each other. You don't need to pay me for anything. You know, you don't need to pay me for my time or what I create. I'm going to create this and give it to you. Why? Because you need it. And we're 7 billion cousins all over the planet. So that's part of why I'm doing the desert. These people would have a mental breakdown if we went off grid. I think some people would. I think BZ, the rest of them, they just come chase us down. They get some guns and say, "Grandma," put on their batches. Get in some tanks and come kill us. Oh, we gotta kill them. Like, that's okay. Everybody's living their own experience. And that doesn't bother me one bit. All right, let's back to Lori. All right, let's get down. Spot on. Yeah, I think Corbett is spot on. I think he woke a lot of people. He woke me up to a lot of things, like a lot of these people right here. Damn, that messed up, Citizen Day. It is messed up what happens, And even in Deb's situation, which you mentioned, 1 million people died in 2020 in America alone from all the subsidizing from all the sides. Subsidizing the lockdowns and subsidizing the sugar, subsidizing the glyphosate, subsidizing Rockefeller medicine, the subsidizing. And my God, if we don't hold the people accountable, they're going to do it again. 9/11 was not an outside job. And what happened in 2020 was an outside and inside job. And corporations walked away with trillions of dollars, and governments walked away with massive amounts of power and laws for stealing people's rights or consent to steal people's rights. We're either going to make them pay, and we're going to take those rights back from them, or they're going to do it again. All right, we can be each other's pearls. We can, Hyder. We absolutely can, and we should be. That's why I tell people, eat vegetables, eat vegetables, eat vegetables, eat vegetables, and then eat some more vegetables. Grow your own food, eat organic, make your own lotion, make your own soap, off grid in every way you can, and the system will break. And when the system breaks, we will dictate that it will be a human-based system on the other side. But if we listen, people keep doing this whole obedient thing and thinking that the government's here to save you. People thinking that the government loves you. I know you want to laugh. I know you're sitting at home right now. I got that tight lip. People at home right now, that tight lip. No, your government tell me the truth. You know better than that. I know you know better. That government don't love you. Government ain't a thing, and it's not a bad thing. It is a thing. It wants power. It does not love you. It doesn't want to say grandma. It doesn't want to do anything to help you. It just wants more power. That's all. It wants more power. Corporations want more money. So you can go and get your laugh out. Because I used to think the government loved me too. I used to think the government wanted to give me a warm blanket, tuck me in at night, rub my belly, get that Robitussin, try to help me. And it probably was Robitussin, because that's not natural. You can get some spearmint, it'll do the same thing. The government doesn't love you. It doesn't hate you neither. It doesn't hate you, doesn't love you. It is a thing. It will do what you let it do. All right. And if it gains it more power, it'll do anything to you to gain more power. All right. That's all. They say if you stop fighting for each other, then that's when you lose our humanity. I agree, BZ. We lost our humanity a long time ago. We need to go get it. It's right there on the floor. We just need to pick it up. It's right there in the mirror. We can pick up our humanity again. It's just a choice. That's why they don't do it. It's a mob technique. Are we talking democracy? Democracy definitely is a mob rule. But once you get the mob going, they don't stop. They keep coming. The mob is never join a mob, never join a group, and the entry level drug to be in a mob and a cult is identity. Once you got one, eventually you're going to get a robe, some horns, you're going to get that paint on the chest, and the next thing you know, you're going to be in Washington, in the Capitol building, taking selfies. They ain't going to be in prison because you did exactly what they wanted you to do. All right. It's getting more difficult to stay in the circles of critical thinkers on the social platforms. I always enjoyed Gerard and Tony and Ty, so many others. It is difficult. But Hyder, I think, what is a cool name, Hyder and Seeker. Everyone has to go be their own thing, right? Like, this is temporary. The only reason why we're here is because they haven't evolved the censoring systems as strong as they need to. In the near future, everybody's got to stand on their own. Everyone has to critically think for themselves. Everybody has to pull the people local to them back to common damn sense. We all have to become the heroes of our future. Did I play the hero? No, I didn't do that. I don't think I can. Matthew McConaughey's speech, which, again, he's a Hollywood guy, but it's very true, right? Like, Hyder, Your only hero and your only villain has to be you. Right? Your hero is Hyder tomorrow, Hyder in 10 years, and work towards being the hero that you need to be. Your only villain is Hyder today. Maybe not today, maybe yesterday. And if that makes sense to people, you understand what I'm saying, that every problem and every solution is in your mirror. And you have to live from that perspective. Live from that, absolutely live from that perspective. Don't let anybody else live your dream. You live your dream, or you're going to live their nightmare. And right now we're in Rockefeller and Rothschild's nightmare because we gave up our energy, we gave up our vibration, and it enslaved the world. Look at child support. What about child support, BZ? Other than the fact that child support is a scam, it's a scam they take things that they know we need and they virtue signal with them and they use it as a means to make them powerful. And that's really what happened with it. Unfortunately, all too often it's used as a tool to steal children from their parents. And it's based in a good philosophy, a good idea that it's your damn kids, you need to be paying. But then again, we live in a time where even that can go away, right? So money doesn't have to exist. We know we can feed every child on the planet. We know we can put every child on the planet in house. We can 3D print them shoes and clothes. There ain't no damn reason for any child named a citizen to not have the things that they need. It doesn't even matter what the daddy or the mama does. But we consent to casting our pearls before swine, and they swindle us. He owned his ex for part of that house that he lived in with their son, wanted to pass down to their son. She had terminal cancer, he last 22,000, which he was faithfully paying her on a set schedule. Yeah, well, it's so us embezzling money from an ex is no different than the government embezzling money from us, no different than the Rothschilds and Rockefellers embezzling money from governments. We need to let go of the money. We need to step up and be strong. You know, I get that some people, you got to do what you got to do. Don't do nothing stupid just because I said I said that. You have to eat, and your children have to eat. But also think about, is this sustainable? Is it sustainable going to the baby daddy or the mommy daddy for food, money for food, and you know that this system is collapsing and the dollar is collapsing? If this system and the dollar is collapsing and that's an unsustainable thing, or you're tired of going back and forth, the court fighting with them because the lawyers make big time money and that's just what politicians are. They're all lawyers that become politicians and they write laws for the court system to make more and more money and you to fight harder and harder. At some point in time, you think, you know what? Maybe I'll just grow my own food. Maybe I'll move off grid. Maybe I realize that I'm in the rat race and I'm surrounded by rats and I'm not winning this thing. Maybe I just need to lift my own bootstraps up and go grow my own food. Maybe live off grid. Your kids will be healthier. They'll be stronger. They'll be wiser. Maybe you should homeschool. I think all those things are good. I think all those things are interesting. So sad how the system works against us if we aren't careful. It is sad and it's genius at the same time, Hyder, but it's got to come to an end. Instead of you choose to be Montel Williams. No, not Montel. Just that both fine. Every black player don't look like because they got the boy. All right, she keeps dragging. I barely remember Montel. He had a talk show. This ain't a talk show. This is a discussion show. This ain't even a show. It's me ranting and people saying, yeah, that's true. Nope, that's false. And then we all learn. All right, she kept dragging him back to court, even though he was bending over backwards to accommodate everything. He could let her take care of the sons as much as little as she wanted to pay her. Well, also, Citizen Dev, the family court system is designed, and it's not a thing. It's not bad on the judges, bad on the lawyers, the people in the system. It's designed to make the children a weapon. Literally a weapon to use against each other. Like most people who got any kind of consciousness, they don't give two damns about the house and the car and the money. They care about the children. That's what drives. Nobody kills them. Well, I don't know. Maybe somebody killed himself over a house or some cars or something, but it's the children because they know that's what drives us insane. That's why psychopaths abuse children, because they know that really gets to us. But the system is designed to get the mother and the father to use the children as weapons against each other. And that's why there's no final child support. You can go back and back and back and back and back, and it's based on the location of the child, how many nights they sleep with whatever adult in most counties, which is human trafficking. So there's no reason for anybody to hashtag save the children if you put your own child in human trafficking. And I know that sucks. And I know you want to click that off button right there, click the stop watching the video button because it pisses you off. Just think about your kids. Just think about what I said. You don't have to believe it, but think about what I said. You ain't got no business talking about Jeffrey Epstein and any rest of these people if you put your child in a human trafficking system. It may not be one that abuses them sexually, but damn it, is it trafficking? All right, just think about it. All right, he had cancer too, lost a kidney too, and had serious liver disease. But the system doesn't care about nobody. The system only cares about the system. Systems are only there for their own survival. There are no systems out there helping people. They're there for their own survival. You can get them to help people for a minute sometimes, but they'll always revert back to their purpose, which is survival. All right, and growth. Montel was a blank, a shite. He just being chilling smoke with. Montel was the blank. Oh, the shite. In a good way, not in the hogwaller way. Right, okay. He just was chilling, smoking weed. Yeah, he was laid back, Beasley. He was, but everybody in Hollywood is dirty. Just don't ever get that twisted. You got to pay to play. Everybody in Hollywood is dirty. Everybody in politics is dirty because you got to have dirt. You got to pay to play. Otherwise, they won't even let you in the market. So to become a private citizen, you have to demonstrate that you can act upon and within your own personal sovereignty. Example, to not infringe on somebody else's sovereignty. And that is a great example. And one of the reasons I love the discussion of human sovereignty, Beaufont, is I'm an anarchist and it just takes me back down that lane. Anarchy is not a violent system. It's a system based in you do you, I do me. I have no power over you. You have no power over me. There's no need for governments. There's no need for corporations when we have abundance and human sovereignty. In abundance, people become what they're supposed to. It's only in scarcity, and it's all now artificial, that people stay psychopaths. The court system weaponized it. It ain't no, oh, y'all on that court system, huh? The court system weaponized it. Ain't no real justice. Yeah, exactly, Beezy. That's what they do. Well, they weaponize things because weaponizing things are profitable. I don't talk about the court system. I'm not trying to go there. What is this? Status is a religion. This is why religion is the first and foremost a political mechanism. Yes. Ooh, oh, fine. It's not the only one. There's another one too. It's called Brondo. I was thinking about that early this morning. I was talking with Lori or somebody. Brondo is not safe and effective, people. It's just they got a lot of commercials. That's all. That's all. Brondo might have electrolytes, but the discussion about Brondo isn't if it has electrolytes. Is if you destroyed your body so much that you need electrolytes. Go back to eating natural. You understand what I'm saying? Brondo. It's not safe nor effective. No, it's not. It's not. It just has a lot of commercials and it's very popular. It's a religion. All right. It is a religion. If you have not watched Idiocracy, people, please go watch Idiocracy today. That's the straw man. That's why your name is in all capital and social security numbers owned by the Vatican. Beezy, I have no idea who the hell you are, but damn it, I'm feeling you. All right. You on it. You're on it like popcorn. You already understand these things. The reason that you have a birth certificate is they own you. We're not slaves. Slaves have universal health care. Slaves, the master cares about because they got to go out in the field and pick. Commodities, they don't give two damns about you, nor your children, nor your stress, nor your suicide, nor your health, nor grandma. You're a commodity. They own us. They own us. They own all this stuff, and they own us too. And they treat us like they own us. But, you know, and this is the interesting thing about the straw man and going back to human sovereignty and reclaiming or correcting our status is that I think that might be our only way out. Right? So if they don't own you, if you don't consent to their abuse through the legal system, then it means that you can probably get away with driving cars, being a traveler on the road and doing the things that you need to do as an American citizen, not as a commodity and property of the United States Incorporated. Let's move down. Ooh, y'all, oh, goodness great. Y'all getting into quantum mechanics and other great, delicious stuff. I got to go. It's Friday. I got to go. I think we got a live stream later. I got to go. Quantum mechanics. Things aren't things. They are merely tendencies. Both fine. Oh, good Lord. You go on and drop that. Right. So back to the particle and the wave, right? Things aren't things, they're tendencies. They tend to do that based on your observation, your measurement of things. We aren't actually here. You're not actually seeing me. You're not seeing a black person. You're not seeing an American. You're not seeing a bald guy. You are seeing fields and waves going back and forth. And your brain is saying, damn it, he's black with a bald headed and a mustache. You're just seeing waves and fields. We're not actually here, which is amazing. We're not actually here. Why do we act like we're here? We're not really biological. Why is everything based in biology? Why do people think that Brawndo is good for plants and toilet water is bad for plants? If you didn't watch Idiocracy, that's not going to make any sense to you. We're not even here, people. The ancients were more right than they were wrong. We are more spiritual energy than we are biologicals. Now, somebody explain Rockefeller medicine to me. Belief, placebo, nocebo. Those things make a whole lot of sense when you take out the biological components. All right, so it was nothing like what Gerard assumed. What wasn't like Gerard assumed? What did Gerard assume? That the court seat and legal system was going to love me and hug me and save grandmama and save my kids? No, it was not. That is a vicious system. And the only thing that even makes any degree of good in it is you got a few good judges and a few good lawyers who will pull you aside and whisper in your ear that this is all bullshizzle. And we're going to destroy you and we're going to destroy your kids. And that literally is how we get paid. We need to flip the system. But that's going to collapse like the war on drugs. I think it's all falling apart right now. I don't think they can afford to do this. And that's going to end me into a currency conversation, which I don't believe in currency, but there is one currency in my mind, I think, called blockchain currencies that are going to break the system. Because when you force the people who broke the world through fake currency and you lock them down to a person, citizen-owned currencies, you got something to contend with. I don't think it's a perfect system. They can still abuse you through businesses and abuse you because they own you, and that can affect the currency. But the sound currencies that are coming out that are blockchain based, that they can't be corrupt and dirty with, and they just can't print as much as they want. They can't give billions of dollars to the family court system in the States to steal your children from you. They can't give billions of dollars and create weapons of mass destruction to go around the world and steal resources and have endless wars with other nations, right? They can't manufacture crises to get white and black people to hate each other and fight out in the street over crazy, silly stuff. The whole world's about to change. They can't afford a war on drugs if they're not printing money. And so sound currency is gonna be probably the first nail in the side of the system, I think. And then we have to go past currency. We have to get past this idea of money. It's ridiculous. It makes no sense. It's completely agnostic to modern technology. Crazy how judges and courts have so many power over people's lives. Like, who gave them that power to begin with? We did, Beezy. We consented to the system, and we consented to them having that power. So now they don't have to respect the Constitution, Bill of Rights, natural rights, human rights, or anything. We're commodities, like you said. They own us. They can treat us like cattle. No, they can't. No, they can't. No, cows have rights. Cows got some rights. You can't, because the cow, you have an SPCA to tell you how you can treat a cow. An American, you can shoot them dead cold straight on the street in a wheelchair. You can silence their voice even if they got a speech impediment. You can do anything you want to an American. You can put them under the prison. You can put them in the CMU. You can force them to do anything you want. Cows, there's limits to what you can do to a cow. So, but we gave them that right. We gave them that, we consent, and we still consent to it. This is why we got to off-grid our consent. People think off-gridding is going to live in the woods in the desert. No, off-gridding is removing your consent any way that you can. For me, it was leaving corporate America and a few other ways to begin with. Homeopathy is divine. It goes to the roots of the beginning of disease. It works on frequencies. I agree, Christine. It goes back to the longest running human trial study ever done. And that was done by shaman. It was done by medicine men. It was done by all the tribes that they deleted all the information from and killed a lot of the plants. So they create a fake system of just treating the side effects of illnesses to keep the illnesses, to numb the side effects so you'll stay sick so they can sell you more drugs. I had a few friends studying homeopathy medicine at Botsy in Seattle. That's awesome to hear. Let's go down. Or she would even drive him home about a 40-minute ride. Not ready. Yeah, a lot of pain and suffering. That is about Citizen Deb, and they don't care. We have to care. We have to be the ones that care. We've outsourced. Like someone mentioned to me, Citizen, the other day, something about how we used to let the churches take care of the poor people, and then we let the government take care of the poor people. And the churches sucked at it, and so does the government. So it's about time we go back to the only sustainable system that's always worked, which is we take care of each other. That always worked. We populated a whole planet on taking care of each other before these systems took over. We have to go back to looking out for each other. We are each other. We're all cousins. We're all 7 billion cousins spread all over the planet. We just all walk different ways. Yep. And we have to stop being, I think said lazy. That says lady. Citizen Deb, no disrespect. That lady sounds evil as crap. I don't think evil exists, BZ. I think that, once again, I don't think there's good and evil. I just think they're babies. And the way that I translate it is that, have you ever met a good or bad baby? And the answer is no, all babies are good, right? Because all babies are neutral, but they're born into environments, and a baby that's born in a bad environment is going to oscillate more doing bad behavior than a baby oscillating or in a good environment. They're going to oscillate doing more good behavior. I don't think they're good and bad people. I think they're just an environment. We're all neutral, and we all become what our environment, well, most of us become what our environments make us, not all of us. Some of us get fired. Can you teach us how to make them oils and toothpaste? I will, BZ, that's coming. I'm going to do a new channel, and it's going to be just like living, surviving, off-gridding. I'll teach you everything I can, and I'll teach you also, BZ, what the hell not to do, because I'm not a teacher. I'll teach you where not to step, what not to eat, to not wear flip-flops in the desert with prickly pear cactus. So yeah, I'll teach, but it's not necessarily what comes out of my mouth. It'll just be that those examples. I get those examples. Okay, I'm never going to do what Gerard did. Don't do what I do. Watch what I do, and you do what resonates with you. Pee is not lotion. No, it's not. Just saying. Well, is it? I don't know, Beaufort. Isn't that homeopathy? Isn't that a thing when you pee on your feet? Doesn't that get rid of foot fungus or something like that? Somebody get me on the fake news on that one. I thought I heard that if you pee on your feet, it'll get rid of your foot fungus. I don't have any foot fungus. I probably got bunions and corns and other stuff that I can kick the hell out of a cactus with. These feet, y'all, listen, the desert, y'all understand. Y'all just don't understand me.
Oh, Gerard, you can't go out in the desert with your shoes off on flip.
Have you seen my feet? Have you seen my feet? Okay. Don't tell me what I can't do. My feet comes with a protection of ash, dry skin, some corn, and bunions. Damn it. I kicked the hell out of a prickly pear of cactus. As a child, I used to run around Arkansas. I was like one of these little runaway slaves. As soon as I got to Arkansas, I got down to my grandfather's property. Man, I take them shoes off. I would not wear shoes for 3 months. Just running around, just kicking all kind of dirt and sand and rocks. Come on, now. You do with that? I'll tell you what I can't do with these feet. These feet will kick the hell out of you. Come on, now. Shoot, these feet will kill a dragon. And I don't even have foot fungus. They just tough. It's like Kimmy bags. You know how to train with Kimmy bags? These feet been training with Kimmy bags. I'm a gardener, damn it. Even as a grown man, been running out in that garden with some rocks and stuff. These feet know how to deal with it. Just they calloused up. They're ready to go. And I got feet of a hobbit, damn it. Without the fur. All right, there we go. Evil butt hats. Yeah, well, you know. People do evil. I think everybody, Marianne, I think everybody can turn around. We don't give them environments to turn around. I think that we do too much to offend people, and then they don't want to turn around. That makes them even worse butt hats. Well, not entirely. The same situation with the house. Okay, y'all still going on about that. Let me get off of that. The smart ones self-regulate, greed, all 2 of them. Yes, about 2 people that regulate greed. I run from it, Buddha Cat. That's my only solution. I just know I can't have no money. I can't. I learned that a long time ago when I was young. I realized if I got credit cards, I can walk around with some credit cards. If I got that cash, baby, I grew up on hip hop videos. I got to sling that cash. That cash fly right out my wallet. And now I just, I don't hold money. If it comes to me, I'm getting rid of it. You know, if it comes my way, I'm not storing it, no bank accounts, not keeping it. There are too many people who are in need anymore. And so that's the whole Move Off Grid project. What it's for is developing a model to help people get out of the cities and go start taking care of themselves. And so I'll never be a millionaire. It's never going to happen. Every dime I get, I'm going to reinvest back into how do I help other people? Because none of it we can take with us. Land has value. Money has no value. Feeding other people, that has value. No. Teaching other people to feed themselves, that has real value. You know? So the way I deal with my own greed, Buddha is I don't want none of the money. The money, any money that comes my way, it's gonna go right back out the door. All right. As long as how's that saying go, Buddha? I think I came up with it. I probably stole it from somebody. I don't know. As long as we live on a planet where children don't have what they need, no adult should have what they want. And I mean that. You know, and I'm gonna live that. I live that to a certain degree, and I got more work to do, and I'll never get there. But I'm gonna keep walking in that direction. And it's not a self-impoverishment thing of beating yourself with a pain stick. You gotta be happy to be here. But the philosophy, the lifestyle of I realize there are hurting children in every single city. You can't go a few miles without going past children who don't have the bare necessities of life, the simple bare necessities. Don't worry about your troubles and your strife. I mean those bare necessities, the simple human necessities that keep human beings alive. Everybody likes to talk about how much they care about children, how passionate they are. To me, it's all bullshit if you don't change your behavior. So I'm changing my behavior. I do everything I can. And right now, kind of my focus is like single parents because they're raising the children. If we can help them to build better environments for themselves and for their children outside of the corporate environment in the Rockefeller world, then those children are going to become jewels to the world. And so that's what we need to do. How do you regulate greed, though? I run from it, BZ. Everyone's got to figure out how to regulate it themselves. I can't have it. I can't have it. That's just, if I have money, it's going to break me. If I have power, it's going to break me. I don't need the money nor the power. Where I'm going, that has no purpose. I went from 90 to 2012 without health insurance until I started working for the Lazy Bee. Question both fun. Do healthy people need health insurance? That's the first question. And second question, the human being, if it wasn't designed to be healthy, would it still be here? Is a human being designed to be healthy or designed to be sick? In my opinion, the human being is designed to be healthy. Every cell in your body is trying to repair itself and the cells around it to stay alive and to repair and heal. The cells get what they need from the things that we eat and the sunlight that hits our skin, the environment. When we give them a natural environment and natural food, you're always healthy. And if you're always healthy, you don't need health insurance. Health insurance is a scam. That's why I don't believe in it. Health insurance is duct tape when you got a system that's poisoning you. It's even crazier that they threaten people to get health insurance. They do. And I think it's a crime to not have health insurance, something like that, BZ. I don't give two damns. I don't eat their food, so I don't need their drugs. I don't need their treatments. I don't need Rockefeller medicine, anything. And if it means, oh, but what if you die? Then I die. But I'm gonna live free. I'm not gonna live like, oh, I'm gonna eat the devil's food. So I have the devil's cures. No, I don't need the devil's cure. I'd rather die. I'd rather something organic, an organic bacteria, virus, or fungus kill me than the devil keep me alive. No, I'm not interested in devil Bill's son's synthetic drugs. There's no such thing as taxpayers' money. Ooh, there's no such thing as money. All right. Can we say entrapment? Yes, the whole system is based in entrapping people. Hey, biatches, what's going on, Riz? I gotta go. Oh my gosh, I'm only halfway through the comments. I got to go faster. It's Friday. Western medicine is only a couple hundred years old. Yep. And Arabic, acupuncture, the Native Americans medicine, herbalism, all of that is mature and thousands of years old. Now they are writing medicine knowledge. Well, they're making it up as they go. It's bullshit. They're making stuff up. Great doctors, great nurses, great medical professionals, but they're within a system that requires whatever they come up with, it has to be profitable. If it's not profitable, they're not allowed to do it. You don't learn about nutrition at these universities. No, Riz, because nutrition is free and universities don't teach things that are free. They screen people to see if they're evil enough to slit throats. And they also indoctrinate children to put them in conflict with each other so they won't physically cut each other's throats. They go to kindergarten and they'll color in the lines better than the other kids so they can steal resources and get more money. So there's less money the other kids have, so the other kids die. They make us apathetic in every way. As children, they put us off into conflict-based systems, and all conflict is conflict. I say it this way, Marianne, injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. And I think the pen is mightier than the sword, and the pen and you getting knowledge that somebody else doesn't have, a poor person down the street, that's far more violent than a sword could ever be, right? You don't learn anything in school. That's why I dropped out. I'm not saying school is bad, BZ. I'm just saying that it's not designed for good. Teachers are good. There are a lot of teachers, they love teaching, but there's a difference between education and giving information, becoming informed. You know, what I lean towards is homeschooling or finding teachers that teach your children critical thought, teach your children to question the system, not to just be slap happy slaves, stepping and fetching, going along with the system, right? You know, you want someone that teaches your kids how to think, not what to think. BZ, you're new, and this is why I tell you, my kids drive me crazy as hell. Every last one of them, yeah, all right, we know how to think now. We ain't got to think anything Dad thinks. He can go to hell. They're all little individuals, BZ. Love them to death. Little smart kids. They smart as hell, though. They're all too old for me to spank, so, you know, that's what that is. But raise your kids to question it. It'll drive you crazy. But they're supposed to drive you crazy. We're supposed to be making spiritual creatures gods, upgrades of ourselves. And I can't make an upgrade of myself if they do what I tell them to do. Otherwise, I threaten to beat them with a belt. How's that any different than government? Do as I say, not as I do. Wear your face diaper and social distance. So many ways we became the things that we hate the most. And I used to be that, BZ. Not that no more. Nah, let them little monsters do what they need to do. They just need to become better than me, and they'll never become better than me by me forcing them to be like me. You believe Rockefeller, that's why you were fat and sad. Uh-oh, who y'all tell? Y'all fighting back and forth? Uh-oh. College, just more indoctrination. It is, Marianne. I don't recommend people go to college anymore. I recommend they get their kids to places that will inform them the best to do the things that they're impassioned to do. And rarely, to me, is that college. You can learn everything online now. Besides, you're setting up a lot of kids for failure. You're setting them up for jobs that, in my industry, we've been actively automating, so your kids will not do that job. Which is, you know, the world that we need to prepare kids for is a world where probably 10% of the jobs today aren't there tomorrow. And that's not an easy thing to do. You need to prepare them for that world because that's the real world that they got to live in. They have to know how to thrive in a world where 90% of what people do for jobs today will be gone. They'll be automated away. And if we're sending our kids to school to do the things that are being done today, we're setting them up for failure. Which is why I do have 2 sons in college, but they also know how to grow food. They're also about to learn how to build tiny houses. They also are going to learn how to build community, you know, because you never know what skill sets needed in the future, but it's not going to be anything like today. The robots are going to do the heavy lifting in the future. If we don't grow the F up, it's going to be for the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Carnegies, the Mellons, these big, massive corporations that create little mini governments all over the world. in their little mini towns, little mini slave plantations. The robots will do the significant work and we'll do the bullshit on the side. Our kids will. The perfect slave plantation unless we evolve out of this stuff. Poor Chinese, they had such a good old traditional healing medicine herbs. Well, they got jacked up, Christine. Did you see the book I posted? What is it called? Added to the book list today. I got to get that book list off of Facebook because that's going to disappear. They've been deleting all my posts. Like, oh, nope, you can't do that, Negro. You can't post that here. Nope, nope, nope. Can't post that here. Neither. Nope, nope, nope. You can't post that. Nope, nope, nope. They're deleting all my posts. I added to the book list. What's the name of the book, Christine? Did China change? What's the name of this book? I don't know the name of the book. I just got it this morning. It's about how Rockefeller medicine made it to China. Oh, Lord. I just saw what y'all are posting on it. What is wrong with y'all? Y'all are sick. My friends are nut. Y'all are all nut jobs. I don't know if y'all know that. Hang on. Let me show you what these people. I don't know if I should show. What is wrong with y'all? Y'all need, oh my God. All right, hang on. No, this is the book right here. It's the book that he was mentioning. General Corbett was mentioning. And it's in Chinese. I mean, it's in Mandarin, but it's the China change. It's how the Rockefellers created a system in China and destroyed, Chinese medicine, Eastern medicine. Elaine, right at the top, too. Yeah, you did that, Elaine, right there. What is wrong with you people? Oh, my God. Do you speak Mandarin? Look at it, Robert J. Put Chinese letters down here. Oh, my gosh, the 46th president. Oh, all right, see, I'm done with that. See, y'all are so sick. Oh, Lord, I would miss Facebook. I don't know the name of the book. I don't speak Mandarin. Yeah, Ni hao ma. That's about all I got. I got a few more. I got some friends in China. I have to speak to them a little more often. But it's about how the Rockefellers destroyed Chinese medicine. So that's on the book list. I'm hoping to find an audio book that's in English. All right, the first 12 years is to break you. Yes, Marianne. Isn't that a scripture? Isn't there a scripture that says something to the effect of like, if you give us a child up to the age of 13, like we'll own them for life? Something like that. What is this? You got to ask to go to the bathroom or you got to ask to go to the nurse. Right, Beezy. And so schools do that. They train children to be obedient. I don't think children should be obedient, Beezy. I think children should be safe. And the rules that we give, don't jump off the damn cliff. Don't be like Gerard, be dumb enough to put on a cape and jump off the roof. I think our job is to keep kids alive, but I don't think we don't want to make them obedient. I think every child is a God. And I think we were raised to be slaves and we need to stop raising our children to be slaves. I think children should be, and by nature, are disobedient. And they should be. By nature, they're little velociraptors testing the fences because that's how you build a better world, is when they question the current world. They question the current system, the current math, the current science, the current energy propulsion. But when you make them into slaves and clones, and they don't develop what they need to. So I disagree with the school system. I think that the school system should be children running around everywhere. I think it's wrong to have schools like prison systems with all the kids in line doing the chain gang thing. No. I think them children need to, if you're going to put them in school, you need to have walls that can be written on with crayon and markers. You need to have the easy booger wipe walls. We can wipe the boogers off of them, easy, get them droplets off of that wall. I think that the floor should be paintable. I think it's their world and they should be free. And I think over time they realize, you know what, that's not sustainable acting crazy. I ain't gonna act crazy no more. And then they become, better. But I don't think children should be in like museum houses. My kids destroyed my damn house. Oh, they just destroyed it. They did. Oh my God, did they destroy it? I had 3 boys. Them boys rough. Shoot, all kind of holes. Ain't one room in that house without some damn holes in it. Damn it. I came home once, Marianne, and there was the hole in the wall the size of a person. I'm like, my children, they picking each other up and shoving them through walls and stuff. It's okay. Everybody's alive. Their boys are supposed to do that. As long as everybody alive, you just wipe them off, give them some Band-Aids, kick them back in the fight. Get on out there and fight some more. I think kids should be kids. All right, raise your hand to speak. That's crazy, Marianne. That's slavery. No child should have to raise their hand to speak. Damn it, they got mouths. They can say something. That's like, how's that any different than how we've been abusing women since the beginning of time, Marianne? How's that saying go? Women are supposed to be seen, not heard. It's just weird how we take these abusive philosophies and we in some at different times and different places we cheer for them. Oh, okay. So well, what would a classroom be if the children didn't have to raise their hands? Well, it would be a learning environment. When the kids got loud and everybody's speaking at once, you realize that you can't be heard because everybody else is speaking at once. Then you realize, okay, I'm gonna be quiet and let Mike speak, because when I'm yelling, when Mike's yelling, nobody hears what either one of us say. You know, I think that letting people learn and letting children learn to self-regulate is huge, huge for the future. But people not learning why they do things, why they should do a thing, that this is a good thing to do. Oh, well, you can't speak unless you raise your hand because I say so. Or I'm going to send you to the office. I'm going to call the administrator, the principal. I'm going to call your parents so they'll beat you. What kind of nonsense? What kind of evil slavery, dark archon? I don't even know what to say about that, Marion. All the teachers, y'all, I love you. I grew up in a family of teachers, but y'all should all have wife beaters. I went the whole school district and the principal down to everybody just come to school with dirty wife beaters with ketchup and holes and stuff because the school system is built after the prison system. I know y'all know that knowledge. I got all that smart knowledge. Hungary, wherever it came from, the American education system, it was built after the military prison system, something crazy like that. Somebody get me on the fake news, fact check. Egypt has some high value medical knowledge. They did all kind of surgery and all kind of amazing, beautiful, wonderful things back then. Amazing video. Thank you, Christine. I'm about to go. Let me speak. I got to speed through these comments a little faster. I live near Johns Hopkins. Did you know that these fools tried to make a medical police force in 2019, like an actual police force for hospitals? Beezy, I'm gonna tell you what. You ain't never gonna surprise me. I'm in America. I live in America. You could tell me they was making dinosaurs to go chase people down and eat them. They brought velociraptors back and gave them badges. I'd be like, yep, that's what America does. They probably did it twice. Doesn't surprise me. Everything is for control. All for control. Hey, Kimberly Fujikama. Hey, look, you found me. I found you too. I found you in the comment section. All right, I gotta go. I'm gonna skip every third comment now. I'm gonna get to the bottom. Not everything in Rockefeller allopathic medicine. Thank you, Lori Jenkins. Damn it, you tell Lori. Lori's a nurse. She'll tell you. She'll tell you when you get that, because y'all might disagree with Lori, but just put you in. So let's say that I don't know, you was a mailman, you delivering mail, you delivering for Amazon or somebody. You go in that wrong yard. They ain't got them. Y'all remember the Doberman gang? Anybody remember the Doberman gang? But to teach the Dobermans to rip people to shreds and rob banks and stuff. You get in the wrong yard, and that Doberman thinks that one of your testicles is a money bag or something, and he rip into that joker. Yeah, you're gonna want Lori to have all the Rockefeller medicine, drugs, injections, and everything. I know, Lori, I ain't mad at y'all. I am not mad at y'all. Hell no. I hate Rockefeller medicine until I'm in a car accident. I hate when my foot is over there, my ears over there, and half a testicle down over there, and there's a nipple over. Hell no, right? Give me drugs. Drugs, shots, injections, and pills. Bring it on, Rockefeller. I need to feel nothing. We'll do the allopathic at a later date. But right now, and I got blood shooting out of this, that, and the other. And oh, no. Lori, one more story, and I'm going to go. I was riding my bike once down the hill because I was a crazy kid. I was crazy. So I had a big hill in front of my house. I was riding down that hill. We had asphalt. No, we had concrete. No, we had the concrete with the rocks in it on the road back then. The ones that just rip human flesh from the kneecaps at very efficient levels. I ride down that hill. I don't know. They had a commercial. Y'all remember that commercial? Anybody 29? When you riding on a GTI, and we was singing, my friends and I, and you would kind of do your steering wheel. We was going real fast, shoot, 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 because you get the rubber making that sound on the road. Shoot, riding on my GT. I still remember what I was singing at that time. I was so moved by what happened next. I was going down that rail. I was probably doing about 35 miles an hour. Shoot, shoot, shoot. And the wheel just decided, nope, I'm going to turn all the way. That wheel turned all the way. I was in the air, Lord. I was flying for a little bit. I didn't have a cape on that day. I was flying. I hit the ground, and I just slid on that ground for probably a good 30 feet. Ripped every last piece of skin off of my knee. Oh, Lord have mercy. Lord, I got up, and I just looked down, and I said, where's my knee? I didn't see my knee. I looked down, and also it was this big white ball. I was like, that's my damn kneecap. In which I'm a man, so what does that mean? It's probably a section about this big, but I'm a man. We do that. The whole damn knee was all white, just not a section. I was like, what is that white stuff? And all of a sudden that white stuff started turning pink. You started seeing the blood go through the veins and started to turn red, and blood just started coming out. Oh my God. No, give me drugs. Give me drugs. I'm not mad at Rockefeller medicine. Everything is relative. Everything has a time and a place. I do not do blood. Not interested in blood. Unless I'm working on a card, then I don't care. If I'm working on a card, and damn it, just give me some rags, some piece of paper, an old envelope or something. I wrap my finger and I got more work to do. Throw a rubber band around to stop the blood. That's all you got to do. Hey, what's that? G, are you blocked from live streaming on Facebook? Yeah, I am. I blocked me. Rockefeller, Zuckerberg blocked me, and I've blocked me. I have to get off of their site, Kimberly. They don't want me to. My brand, Crazy, is not okay with the products that they need to sell. So they put me in prison for 30 days. I put myself in their prison for 30 more days. And I'm hoping after the 60 days that I put myself in prison and he put me in prison, that I learned my lesson and I'll never live stream on Facebook again. I'll live stream from my website. I'll live stream from other places, but we have to walk away. We got to get away from it. And I'll miss it. It's fun. I like to live stream over there, but I'll just write software to do a lot of the same things because I look at the problems that are over there. Like it's fun seeing the hearts and all that stuff go by. So I'm going to improve on that. And I'm still writing the software for it. And I hate the comments, like watching Del Big Tree and the chat thing that I have on my site. I don't like that either. I like how you have the replies and stuff. So it's forcing me to go back to write software. So I'll write software for that. Then I'll share with the other live streamers so we can have fun on other platforms and improving on the ideas. We got lazy. I got lazy. That's what I mean by we. I got lazy. And I got too used to their website. The big tech, they were doing it all for me. And so we put all our energy and our power into big tech. And we're now getting the anal swab that we need. We're getting that big dong eggplant swab that we need. Because we cast our pearls before swine. See how that works out? I'll make a title and it always just blows up right back in my face. Because I'm not here to teach nobody. I'm here to give examples and improve on myself, and y'all get to watch. Oh, I'm talking to the people. Who is this? I'm like, oh, that's a guy. Oh, you know what? I need to talk to him. I'll call him back later. That's a man about the thing, and the place that I'm gonna go with the thing. Yes, it's a man know how to raise cattle. All right, I'm gonna hit him back in a minute. Can I get like 2 more comments and I'm out? Who didn't I get a comment from? I think I got a comment from everybody. Majority of children will have psychological issues. Yes, the majority of children already do, Riley Jenkins. They already do. And yes, everybody's last name is Jenkins when I'm on enough coffee. 2 more. All right, everybody at the bottom. Boy, I tell you, some people, he's one of these people, he'll call you on everything he can get you. Like, I got his number everywhere. So something's happening today. We might have to do something today about the thing, for the thing, with the thing, to bring the thing back and the thing. And so we can have some things at the thing on the spot. All right. And that's how that's going to be all my posts in the future. Oh, y'all, did y'all see the thing about the thing? Oh my God. You know, if they put that thing inside the thing, you know, you're going to die. You're not going to have a Smurfy day if you keep eating they Smurfs. That's what they're doing. They're like walking us into being smart, like talking in code. That's the only way that we can be on their platforms. Like, yeah, did y'all see the thing? Oh, I saw it. Oh my God, did you see it with the blue thing? Yeah, the blue. Oh my God, I saw that. I didn't know what to do. Our friends must be like, what the hell is wrong with this? You have to misspell everything so it doesn't get trapped by the text. But that's what it will be in the future. That's that's going to be social media self-improvement. If you eat the thing, you're gonna be in that thing, and ain't nobody gonna help you with that thing. How's it not funny? They made us this stupid. All right, anyway. and the other people like, yeah, they're here to keep us safe. Big tech is keeping us safe. They're stopping horrible hate speech. And like, they're not telling you the things that they're gonna use to kill you, but that's okay. All right, I gotta go. Last comment. Blinded her with status. Ooh, 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 ooh. You're blinding me with status. Yeah, that's that 80s coming out. All right. I think I got comments from everybody. Ooh, look at that. WD-40 essential oils. Yes. And when Bill Gates, the #1 landowner in America right now, #1 farmer, when he starts making essential oils on his property, that's exactly what they're going to say. Organic WD-40 essential oils. And people are like, oh, this is the best stuff, girl. I got the Bill Gates essential oil. You ain't got essential oils till you got the Bill Gates one. You're going to be rubbing like acid. That man growing crops. Oh my God. People believe anything. All right. Anyway. Yep. Learned to ride when with no training wheels. Ooh, yes, Lord, did I? Ooh, my knees never and I don't think I have a kneecap that still doesn't grow. My father put me on that bike. Go, boy. Push me down the hill like, go on. I'm like, Daddy. We grew up at a different time. Yeah, you learn how to swim. Your uncle threw you in the pool. And your friends who couldn't learn how to swim, they're not here no more. You just went to their funeral. We grew up in tough time, and we don't do that to kids no more. They got the robot. The robot jump in, save John, pull him out the thing. But it's good to learn on your own. You learn on your own. You learn it solid. When you learn on your own, you ask some of these women that have been with abusive men. Now, some of them ain't learned, but they just ain't met the wrong one yet. They'll learn. These women, no. You want to go out on it? No. But I got permission. It's Valentine's Day. Fauci said I could. No. You said the word. You show up in a car that looked like somebody. Hell no. That's a Ford Mustang. No. You learn that lesson once. You learn it good. You never want to have to learn it again. You end up dating. It's not just men. It's women too. Women abuse you psychologically. Women will destroy you. And it's a few of them on this page right here. Don't you ever date nobody on this. All right, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna go there. I'm just saying, if you learn the lesson, you learn the lesson. Shoot, you date somebody crazy and psychotic once, that's all you need. There's still somebody scared the hell out of me. Shoot, you got a name that even remind me of that person's name, I'ma run. Hi, can we be friends over? Hell no, you got the same color hair that woman did. Hell no. No, I still have nightmares. Women will get you. Just be careful. Be careful. Treat everybody how they're supposed to be treated, y'all. Treat everybody like they're gods and goddesses. There ain't no planet scorned like a planet full of Rothschilds and Rockefeller clones raised in conflict-based systems, fighting each other with isms and artificial scarcity that's designed to bring out our psychopathy. Anyways, Gerard, it's Friday. Y'all have a great day. I think we'll probably be back later to talk about ancient books and scriptures and knowledge and spiritual stuff later on with John, Christine, and Susan. Short of that, this Gerard. I'm out of here. Y'all have a great day. Please don't ever cast your pearls before swine. Know what your pearls are. Know what they are. Your pearls are not your bank account. I mean, that's something that has some value. But it really is the work that's the value, not the money. Do not cash your pearls before swine. And that fits to pretty much every schema you probably could put it in, every flavor of everything in your life. Just Drew, I gotta go. Y'all have a great day. Happy Friday. I'm out. Love y'all now. Bye bye.
Break the chains that bind me, 'cause I wanna break the chains that bind you. Do you wanna set the world free, have perfect harmony? Isn't it time for that? Do you you wanna free, boom, 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 free the people? Do you wanna free, boom, 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 free the people from the bottom to the top? Make modern slavery stop. Do you wanna let go of the prisoners? See everyone happy. We can have this and more if we open up the doors. Well, what do you think about that? Do you wanna free, boom, boom, free the people? Do you wanna free, boom, 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 free the people and Mother Nature too? Close down all the zoos. Do you wanna boom, 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 boom? Do you wanna boom, 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 boom? Do you wanna free, boom, boom, free the people? Do you wanna free, boom, 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 free the people from the bottom to the top? Make modern slavery stop.